Well, hello everyone and happy Friday and welcome to another episode of Legacy Loading, the show where we talk about video game history from a topic, a studio, or a video game series in general. And joining me today is Mr. Shaka Zulu. How are you doing, buddy?
Cheers, everybody. It's Friday. I got a beer. We're talking video games. Can't get any better. And I'm going to have tacos tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Yeah, thank you for joining me tonight. I know I reached out to you to talk about some studios, I think. I gave you a few topics, or I just ask you just if you wanted to talk about Insomniac games?
I think you just came with me Insomniac games.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I've messaged so many people. I was like, I know I reached out to you for something, but I figured I would ask.
You've been telling me about the evolution of your channel, and I was like, all for it, man. Let me know what the subject is, and I'll let you know how, am I the guy for the job? And you said Insomniac, and I'm like, wow, good guess. I've played quite a lot of Insomniac games.
Yes. Insomniac Studios. Obviously, we're going to be talking about this documentary. As people might have know already, we've been watching this show called Icons from the good old early 2000s from G4 TV. And they've had a couple good episodes so far. We did one about the Onimusha series with Mr. IJP Mexican. And of course, if you were here on Wednesday, we had Insidious Bliss on, and we talked about the formation of the ESRB. So those were two really good ones. If you can, after the show, go check those out. If not, well, that's fine too. But tonight we're going to be talking about, as aforementioned, Insomniac games. I would like to say, before we begin, what was your favorite Insomniac game?
Oh, I'm trying to. It has to be right. I think it's gonna be Ratchet and Clank, dude.
Which one though?
I love the tie between the very first one and Up Your Arsenal.
Good one.
Yeah.
Because
I love the Spyro games too. As a kid, Spyro's great. I even kind of like the reboot one. I forgot the one for the PS3. I remember that wasn't like acclaimed very well, but I remember loving it.
Yeah, I even did enjoy both of their first two Spider-Man outputs. Like 2018 and Miles Morales, I did enjoy a lot as well.
Oh, I loved, dude. 2018 Insomniac Spider-Man was amazing.
It was.
I loved it.
I enjoyed it, and then when it got to 60 FPS, I was like, oh, now I can see why people really love this, because I played the PS5 version of it, and I was like, that's what this game needed. Because at 30, it was good. At 60, I'm like, oh, this game really shines,
It nails Peter Parker too. It is one of the most perfect portrayals of Peter Parker. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, in fact, so good. I've been contemplating just replaying it again on PC because I did buy it when it went on like super deep sale for one of those sales.
Yeah.
And I'm just feeling like I'm on that kick. 2018 I said was like one of my favorite years in video gaming, despite some people who don't understand that video games have evolved past 2003. But at the same time, Up Your Arsenal, I think, is still also one of my favorite Insomniac games out there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely plan to go back and play those eventually because I got the PS3 collection. Did you play the PS3 collection?
I did not play the PS3 collection.
Yeah, because I never heard anything bad about it, and I kind of...
Is it the remake, or is it just the ported remaster, kind of a collection?
It's the PS2 ports.
Okay, they're just ports. Yeah, because they did remake the first one, didn't they?
Yeah, and I didn't like that one, to be honest with you. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't hear anyone say anything good about it, so I never tried it.
You know what? It's not so much that it was like a bad video game. It was like, if you remember the original Ratchet and Clank, they were kind of like assholes to each other.
That was the thing. They took out a lot of the jokes, dude.
Yeah. Well, they took out a lot of the building, like you had like Ratchet and Clank had to actually team bond and get to trust each other, versus in this one they're like BFFs already. I'm like, that kind of sucks.
So they don't actually become friends until they fight after they meet Captain Quark.
Yeah.
Which I was talking to Static about it, dude. It was so funny because I played the first Ratchet and Clank, dude, when I was 8. So that was like I totally didn't see Cork being a lazy like piece of shit like TV star hero.
Yeah.
When I was 8, that came out of left field. I was like, whoa, like this is so crazy. I just think back, but I'm like, God, I was such a dumb kid. Like as I've replayed it in my teens, I'm just like, how did I not see this coming? Pretty freaking obvious. But yeah, no, it's classic storytelling. You know what I mean? Like they have a goal together, an objective, and they don't get along until they're kind of forced to cooperate, and then
Yeah.
that's when they're thick as thieves, best friends, but they get separated every game. That's honestly such a Sony thing. Sony loves every game. Like you have to get separated for the main character for like a level. I don't know why Sony's so obsessed with doing that.
Right. Well, on top of that too, it's we should point this out that Ratchet and Clank is the only survivor of the PS2 era that still has games constantly made for it. For
I
everyone else,
know.
Jack and Daxter fans get fucked. Sly Cooper fans cry in your tears.
Oh.
At least you got one more game on the PS3. So there you go.
So the thing about Sly Cooper and Jack and Daxter is they had proper endings.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that they tried to bring it back because it was just like, no, like you ended them so good. You know what I mean? Where like in Ratchet and Clank, the evil corporations will never sleep. Like that's always the plot, right?
Yeah.
So and they expanded it really well, right? Because it's futuristic. It makes sense to expand Ratchet and Clank. It doesn't make sense to expand Jack and Daxter and Sly Cooper when you ended it so well.
I mean, Sly Cooper, you could kind of do it. Like, how can I say this? I think with some people they kind of get blackpilled with like modern writing and stuff like that. I feel like the counter argument I always make is simple. If you have good writers, they can make a good story. You know, they can find a way to make it work. And the problem is, it's just like they tried to do that with a different studio for Sly Cooper with Thieves in Time, but it just did not exactly, they didn't hit the mark fully. There was a lot of weird issues, and the game didn't sell well because it basically was, from what I recall, the studio that made it Thieves in Time was like their pitch for Sly 4. So they wanted to make Sly Cooper 4, but they unfortunately were not able to do it. I believe that studio also did the ports for Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank as well.
I played the demo for Thieves in Time or whatever, and I just remember not liking it. Like, there's something like the charm of the 2D just didn't quite translate to like deeper, detailed 3D models. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It just to me, it just didn't quite feel right. But Spyro did it well. Like I love the Spyro like continuations, and like they gave him more details and they made him look more like a dragon. I'm like, oh, this is sick. I can get behind this. I gotta remember what was the name of that game? There was 2 for the PS3. And it was co-op. That's what was great. That's another thing, dude.
Like,
there's not enough games.
Deadlock? Was it Deadlock you're talking about? Or you talking about
Spyro?
No,
Spyro. I loved Deadlock, dude. That was like one of the games I played the most when it came to like LAN, like playing online on the PS2.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was Battlefront and it was Deadlock. That's what we would play all the time.
Oh, Battlefront was great. But also just give us some shout outs in the chat before we start. Hello, Demi, Pop Culture, and John Riley. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing good. And John, to let you know, they made actually 2 Jack and Daxter games for the PSP. Daxter, and then there was also was it Lost Frontier? Jack and Daxter Lost Frontier?
Lost Frontier was terrible. Daxter's an amazing game. I loved it. I think Lost Frontier was on PS2 as well.
Yeah, they were on PS2 because they also did the same thing with that Ratchet and Clank port as well, because they had Clank and then they also had Size Matters.
Yeah. Oh yes,
PSP.
yes.
Yeah.
I remember because Lost Frontier came out right when the PS3 came out. So I remember like wanting to play my PS3, and I was like, but I have to beat freaking Lost Frontier because I hate this game and I have to see it through. And I was just like, that was horrible. All right, on to the PS3.
Yes, and I know they started porting a lot of those to the PS4 and PS5 right now too, so you can play a lot of these games that we're talking about today as well, except for not all of them natively, but I think Clank and Daxter, those actually got ported to the PS4, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so with that being said, we're gonna start watching this good old fashioned TV show. Like I said, today's episode of G4 Icons, as we said before, is about Insomniac Games. It's going to talk about their early years, and I believe this goes up to 2004 or 2003. One of those
Real
years.
quick, it's called Spyro Dawn of the Dragon. That was the PS3 one. It was co-op and it was great.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, let's go.
All right, cool. So we're going to bring up the desktop here. And let's get going.
From the start, Ted Price seemed destined for something big.
I remember asking my dad to buy me an Apple IIe. And I said, Dad, if you buy me this, I'm going to make a video game and make $1 million. And I was 10 at the time.
And convinced two brothers to join his fledgling venture.
The odds were definitely against us.
Yeah, I mean, we were only 3 guys and we had no experience. We didn't know what we were doing.
Some days were tough,
There were times where we really thought we were not going to be around for another week.
and their name was symbolic.
We were all insomniacs at that point. We weren't sleeping at all.
An early disappointment almost doomed the young company.
Critics called
Hint
it
doom.
dark.
I forgot about this game too until just recently. Oh fuck! They're gonna say?
What game is this?
Oh, this they're gonna tell us eventually, but I think I just learned about this game not too long ago. I think this was like their first title.
Worse of
Uh-huh.
the year, or the best game that nobody ever heard of.
But a little dragon would save the day.
They said
Yeah.
the first Spyro, I think, is the number 5 PlayStation game of all time.
Insomniac would shock fans with an unexpected choice.
It was really hard to leave Spyro behind. He's kind of our little baby.
As they move on to create a new universe filled with captivating creatures. This is the remarkable story of Insomniac Games.
It's kind of funny to think about. They were like one of the first big Sony acquisitions in like a long time too,
Yeah.
and they basically were bought for like pennies compared to others.
It all
Oh, I
began
know.
with a simple request.
I remember asking my dad to buy me an Apple IIe. Back when they had the monochrome monitors. I said, Dad, if you buy me this, I'm going to make a video game and make $1 million. And I was 10 at the time.
And figuring out what he didn't want to.
Little did he know that he was correct.
I know, right? This is like made for TV story, man. Yeah, old video game companies are just so much cooler than today, man. I just love how niche video games kind of were back in the day. Like, do you ever have any of those like jam pack demos, like the magazine and the discs?
Every now and then, I used to. I had a whole stack of demos. Like I think for what's that one? Rogue Galaxy, like God of War, and like something else recent. But I got rid of those because I didn't have space for them.
Oh, I love the old Jam Sport jam pack like demo discs that they would have with like the PlayStation magazines.
Yeah.
And it would be filled with tons of extras of just fat, long hair, greasy nerds talking about their video game. The game wouldn't even be out yet, and they were showing you glitches. Like, oh yeah, by the way, here's a cool glitch you can do in the game. And there were glitches that I would do just because I saw it in the demo tape first. And I was like, well, now it's like if there's any kind of glitch, even fun ones, they'll immediately patch that shit. First, like that was like their advertisement. Look at this cool glitch you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Good
right,
times, baby.
let's continue.
To do.
I was controller for my uncle's medical company. I realized that my long-term interests did not lie in the medical field.
I want to say, look at how fucking young he is. Like in this thing now, like it's so weird to see like Ted Price now with like gray hair, and then you see him like this now.
It's
fucking
so weird
wild.
it's so weird to see Todd Howard like not aged.
Some people have those genetics, dude.
Right.
Like they
Yeah.
just do. It's like Nicolas Cage is one of them. Tom Cruise. Well, Tom
Yes.
Cruise. I think Tom Cruise is
Drinks
starting to
children's
age,
blood.
though. That's the thing.
He's starting to. Yeah.
I think he finally hit that wall because, your voodoo
I think they-
powers can only last for so long.
They cut him off of the juice, I think.
I wanted to do something that was a little bit more artistic. I loved games and had always been into computers and into computer games.
And in 1994, with his Princeton degree, his savings, and a dream,
Oh
Went
my.
to
makes
Princeton?
the move.
And I thought,
Jesus.
hey, why not? It's got to be easy, right? Making video games, and man, I didn't know how off I was on that. And I was very, very fortunate to run into the Hastings brothers.
He is only 6 degrees of separation from meeting his partner.
My mom was talking to one of her friends
At a party in Virginia.
who happened to have a son at Princeton. Her friend's son was roommates with Al Hastings.
Through them.
What
I
the
worked out
fuck
the
was
fact
that?
I was
Wow, I like it,
I
bro.
called Al up and
Look at that
talked
sick
about,
goatee.
what
That was a
company.
fucking real
He
go.
was-
Look. Hold on.
Hell yeah, he look like a goat.
what I
Let's see if
wanted
I
to
can
do.
That's the
pause it.
goat.
Come on, show.
He was
Look, this is like your school shooter photo. like,
Yes,
right before he shoots up the school.
bro, I
They-
can see it. Channel 4, you're watching TV, and it's like silver, code silver, and then this picture goes up.
It's like what are they? They couldn't
God.
find a better photo that didn't make him look like a sociopath.
Oh, I think that was the goal, man. He
Oh
wanted
my
it.
goodness, that's so funny.
That's
John,
wild.
John Riley also checking in here. Todd Howard made a pact with the devil. Can't convince me otherwise. I could see it.
I agree. I think he is the. I love Todd Howard.
I love Todd Howard, man.
He's great, dude.
was really into it, except that Al is one of the quietest guys I've ever met.
I guess I was thinking, I hope he likes me.
Al,
And you're not
probably
wrong.
uttered a
He
few
doesn't seem to
words,
want to talk.
Oh, gosh.
But by the end of the conversation, he had agreed to come out to California.
Boy, I sure don't know much about making games.
I see why.
Of course, neither did he.
Which to me
He
was
was very
pretty amazing because
soft-spoken.
He was taking this huge chance on
Yeah.
a guy who had never done a game before.
Odds were definitely against us, so we got lucky, really.
You know, I'm
And
calling
the
it
lucky
now.
I love-
continues.
I love how that's like every dynamic duo, like John Lennon and Paul McCartney, Dustin Hopkins and Tempe, where it's like you always have like the charismatic leader, and then you have the quiet, talented one. You know what I mean?
the
Like the
ideas
brain.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea guy, the charismatic leader, and then the awkward dude who does all the work.
Like Venkman and Egon.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's
Like
it's the best. Can't get a better duo than that.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying this right now. Ted Price saved this man from a school shooting. So there you go.
Yeah, this was on Dateline.
He saved him. He was like, "Come on, buddy, let's make video games." He's like, "Nah, I want to shoot up a
No.
school." Like, no. Let's make something more fun. Let's make a shooter.
She didn't write me back. I have to go find her.
Yeah. Soon they'll all learn that Ted was right.
No one rejects Hastings and gets away with it.
And his brother.
I was a math and literature double major. and,
It's just so funny that we got
couldn't
another
find it, so I was
brother
My
duo that
coach Brian
helped make
for
another video game
quitting
company.
his real job and coming to make a go of it.
I was working at a pacemaker company, and I had a really good job.
He's
My
the more
dad definitely
charismatic
wanted
brother.
me to do that.
That's how he
That's
got
a
involved.
boring ass
Yet
job.
has a mind of his own.
And when we brought Al's brother on board, Brian, then that kind of completed the circle.
And naming the
go.
brand new Southern California company will prove to be an obstacle.
There were some great ones. There was Ragnarok, let's see, Black Sun Software.
I was thinking, I was just putting random words together, thinking, what two things go together? I just thought Moon and Turtle, and
Moon
I thought,
Turtle.
well, this is gonna be great. Everyone's gonna love it, and
Moon Turtle.
nobody loved it.
They said, "Shut up,
I wanted to
Brian."
name it The Resistance Incorporated.
And we ended up with
This
Insomniac.
is a weirdo.
It
Weirdo.
was just something that suddenly made
It's
sense.
the
We
Resistance
were all
Incorporated.
Insomniacs.
Like,
We weren't
Resistant-
sleeping at all.
Resistance is fucking urge for blood.
But no
God.
Uses a legacy as an influence.
And Doom was the inspiration for our first game, Disruptor. It was a first-person shooter.
Disruptor. That's what. this
Oh
game
yes,
is.
I have heard that. I didn't know that was
Once I
Insomniac.
got done here and got working on the project, I realized that Disruptor wasn't just a Doom clone. The
Forgot. Yeah. See, this was the game I recently just found out about too myself not long ago.
Disappeared very, very quickly.
You know, from
I
the
feel like I
get-go,
watched
we didn't
James
have a lot of
play
ideas
it.
about what we were gonna do.
Maybe.
That it wasn't be a Doom clone and on 3DOs.
The talented troupe sets its sights and future on a doomed game platform.
We'd actually gone to Sony and talked to them a little bit about the PlayStation, but the dev stations at that point were priced way out of our reach.
Well, there was quite a bit of little cult following to it in the developer circle. And 3DO seemed like the first one out there. And
So we have to create this big Doom-like universe.
It's very interesting to think how ass that game must play on the PlayStation to this day. Like,
Really imagine.
I like shooters on the PlayStation 1, not exactly the best.
No.
Now, especially because I think this would predate the DualShock, so it was just the
Yep.
D-pad one. Ugh.
Well, that's why things were tank control on the PlayStation, because the tank controls were easier with the D-pad
I
than an actual
know.
shooter.
I
Yeah.
know, but it sucks. Like, it really does suck to do those.
I defend tank controls. I kind of like it because it makes the game more tense and scary.
It makes it more bullshit than
I
scary.
love it. Yeah, it makes it more scary.
Yeah. Agree to disagree.
Yeah, all right. Disagree, disagree.
Let's just continue.
But we didn't have any 3D tools to do that. And so what we did is we made this, we would read everything out of an Excel spreadsheet.
well, Ted and I
Oh
put
my.
together a demo. It took us about a month. Really, we were just showing that, okay, we can put
Is that all Mountain Dew?
game.
I don't know,
So-
maybe.
Every single polygon, now, thousands of polygons here would have to be entered by Ted into this spreadsheet and converted over.
It wasn't
Jesus
that
Christ.
much to look at, but it was a start. It was a sort of a functional first-person little engine and environment.
And along comes Mark Cerny, a Universal video game
Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy.
We did this in a month, knowing nothing to start with.
Mission complete.
And the young exec signs the baby company to a development deal.
We were really happy to have a 3-game contract where we knew we could stay in business for 2-3 years.
Hold on, just pause it right there. I just love 3-year contract. Maybe we get 3 games out. Like, that timeline is crazy compared
To like a lot of games this year, yeah. Because with how crazy expensive the budgets are, but it's also not super unheard of too, because I think the whole Dot Hack series, the first 4 games I have, I believe those came out in less than 2 years, and that was 4 games.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you see like KOTOR 1 to KOTOR 2, the development
Oh,
time is
yeah.
like a year and stuff like that, which is nice, but then it's like, I don't know. It's, like I said, that's another topic for another day, but it goes into like the whole gamers paradox thing I keep talking about. Where it's just like, I don't think gamers know their history of gaming as well as they like to pretend they do sometimes, but they also don't realize sometimes when they say something that's kind of funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just the timeline. Like, games are, like, yeah, they have evolved for sure. Because the thing is you had to do things more by hand back in the day.
Right.
But it took a little bit more like labor, but you got it done a little quicker. But now the games have so much details, and we're not just playing like platformers anymore, right? There are a lot more details that go into them now.
Yes.
And so they have been expounded upon. They make them different, but they don't make them quite by hand like they used to. So that's also kind of contributes how they got them out a little faster versus just the amount of details they added now versus then. Because my argument's always been like the creative soul. I just think a lot of older games kind of just have more fun versus worried about marketing and demographics. I think that's what holds modern gaming down today versus back then, where they weren't afraid to just be goofy and have fun.
Well, you know what? It's kind of funny that you say that. If you can watch the Onimusha episode, and
Okay.
you'll see that they were still talking about like trying to get certain demographics, like they were talking about trying to get more women gamers involved, and that's why they casted a handsome Japanese actor to be like the lead to try to get women to play the game and stuff like that.
That's also like it's not like investors that are like, it's an investing company that invests in another company that has a set, you know what I mean? Like the bureaucracy of like
Yeah.
4 different groups of people that want a certain, it is the actual developers and actual publisher. Yeah. Like, hey, who are we making a game for? It still is different than now. Like, I'm not saying like the idea of marketing and targeting a certain demographic is bad. It was just more mom and pop shop. So you got that more authenticity.
I agree with you a lot of that with like the bigger companies, but it's
Yeah.
also like if you look at like other games from the past, they reused a lot of assets. Like take this for example. Think about
Yes.
Think about Far Cry 4. What was like one of the biggest knocks gamers had against Far Cry 4?
I hate when people bitch about reused assets. That has always been a pet peeve of mine. It's like, dude, honestly, you want to play the same game with a new story, don't you? That's all you want.
Yeah.
Like Tears of the Kingdom, right? The problem with Tears of the Kingdom is that it took like 6 fucking years for it to come out, and people are like, well, it's just DLC. And I'm like, well, it wouldn't feel like DLC if it came out like 3 years after Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, that's just like the problem.
But I don't
with,
have
like,
an issue with it.
Yeah, but it's like the problem with gamers is that you and I both know that those people like lose their shit, and they're like, "Oh, can you believe that in God of War they reused the canoe? What assholes!" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You know?
Yeah, they changed the map entirely. It's like, why would you make them do more work to just recreate a map if it's supposed to be the same? Yeah, no, that's always been a pet peeve of mine too. I like reusing assets. That's never bothered me. It's a smart way.
It cuts down dev time, cuts down
Yeah.
budget. What are we always bitching about? Why does a game take 5 years and 300 million to make?
Oh yeah, exactly.
But then
Like sports games, dude. Like sports games should reuse assets because the problem with sports games is that they're broken.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we want them to fix the game. Like, I don't care if you reuse assets, just fucking fix the game. Don't waste an entire year recreating the same things that are just similar when you're giving me the same experience but slightly worse.
Yeah, and then Pop Culture steps in here, says, "I read a history book about video games. Perhaps I'm the exception."
Like that.
Maybe. I mean, we always welcome your opinions and inputs, of course. Everyone's opinions welcome.
A history book. I'd read this book. What's it called?
Yeah, what's the book called? Is it that
Hopefully it's an Audible.
Is that Jason Schreier book? Fuck that guy. That guy gets under my skin, but not because of it, not necessarily because of his politics, but it was the recent Dragon Age one where he's like, I don't even like the game, I just want to own the chuds. Was like, that's like a cardinal sin for me. It's like, oh, you don't care about the gaming industry. That's what it is.
Yep.
Like that. Like don't use the games that we like
people to do that.
To just like go. It's called high score.
That's what people are doing with KCD2, and that annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Even though it is a good game, but I'm just like, dude, you don't care, then shut the fuck up.
Exactly. And Pop Culture says it's called high score.
Oh, high score.
Look that up. All right, we're going to continue this now.
Let's go.
Insomniac's first game will also be Universal's first title for the PlayStation.
No way.
We were able to switch over to the PlayStation fairly easily because Al had already developed such a robust engine on the 3DO.
First of all, it went from about 10 hertz to a solid 30 hertz. So it got 3 times faster. The PlayStation 1 was much more powerful than
wow.
the 3DO.
The 3DO was a piece of shit.
May have been a dark title, but some humor unintentionally works its way into the game.
Think fast, shoot fast, and kick it.
Here we were working with Universal Studios, and we're at the young technology startup, and what better chance to have video games and movies come together.
The story was supposed to be serious.
Are you ready for your first training mission, Private? Sir, yes, sir.
Even though the movie sequences we
I'm
recorded
acting.
were funny because they were so cheesy.
Run the gauntlet.
They're horrible.
Get your butt out alive.
Disruptor is released in December 1996 to
That's
very
5.
high hopes.
Jesus Christ, I was not born.
Magazine ads. There weren't any TV ads. We had a little PR where we had some editors come by the office, but that was it. So most of the sales were through word of mouth.
Maybe it's time you tried it out.
It was definitely a critical success. It just wasn't a financial success.
What really made us happy was
that's
that
a
Dark Horse of
legendary
that year,
comment.
or the best game that nobody ever heard of.
I think it's sort of become a cult classic at this point.
That's the go-to thing with like a lot of games. It's like, yeah, it was a critical hit, but no one fucking played it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, if you want to talk budgets, like that's kind of what like Spider-Man 2 and Assassin's Creed Shadows is because it's like, no, it didn't like quite make a profit, but they sold so many copies, but it was just so fucking expensive that it's like technically it is like Valhalla made their money back off microtransactions. Fuck, thank God. Shadows at least didn't have XP microtransactions.
I'll go with a smaller one. My game of the year of 2023, Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Critical darling. No one fucking bought it.
Sucks. Well, everyone played it on Game Pass.
Well, it's not even that. When it even went to PlayStation 5, no one fucking bought it. It was like,
oh, really?
It was in the top 200 of sales.
I wonder if like that was like the heart of the gay ass console wars with like Starfield and Sony and shit, where like the Sony people are like, I'm not playing an Xbox game. Go fuck yourself.
I don't believe that because you see like what you saw with Forza Horizon 5 sold 2 million copies. You know, Sea of Thieves doing really well. Like look at the data that just came out. How many Microsoft owned IPs like just litter the PlayStation's top 10 game players right now. I think it was just like I don't know. It's like my buddy Fernando in particular, he wasn't a big fan of the rhythm-based combat. So I feel like that also turns a lot of people off when you got to play like Devil May Cry style combat, but with like more of a rhythm bonus to it.
It's so weird. It really is chemistry, bro. Because like Expedition 33, people love that shit.
Yeah.
It's QTEs with turn based.
Yeah.
Two things that a lot of people hate. Like I hate QTEs, but I like turn based. But I like Clair Obscur. A lot of people hate turn-based games, but they also enjoy it, right? It's like you mix two things together, and sometimes everyone loves it or everyone hates it. There's like no in between.
No, you're not wrong about that. And I've said, like I keep saying to people, video games are made for everyone. You just got to find out if it's for you. You know what I mean?
It's a genre. It's a genre. Like music's for everyone, but like, what's your genre of music?
Right, exactly. And like one of the better examples of that too is like Persona 5.
I've always wanted to play Persona. I've never played it.
You got to play Persona, dog.
I should. It's on Game Pass. It's on the list.
You should. Persona 3, GOAT.
Where do I start?
Well, here's the thing. Every Persona is basically its own self-contained story.
Oh, okay.
So
very Japanese.
Yeah, like it's kind of like Final Fantasy or Grand Theft Auto kind of deal. Like, you don't necessarily have to play the one prior to get the story, but like it does help sometimes to learn mechanics. I'll just say this: Persona 1 and Persona 2 are drastically different from 3, 4, and 5.
I think 1 looks interesting. I've seen someone play 1, and I go, dude, if I saw this as a kid, I would have eaten it up. Like it looks really unique and interesting.
It's very outdated.
Okay.
Like my friend Felix, big fan of JRPGs and Persona and all that stuff, and he said like you could just watch the cutscenes and just you avoid it. There's no point in playing Persona 1. It's so bad. He said.
Well, the story is good, then I'll like it. Like,
he said there's no story really.
Oh, there's no story. Never mind.
Yeah, because Persona 1 was a spinoff of Shin Megami Tensei series.
Ooh.
That's why it's called Shin Megami Tensei's Persona.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of like kept that monocle for like number 2, and then number 3 they let it be its own thing.
Interesting. All right, so 3 is a good place to start.
Yeah, 3 I think is the best one because 3 also has 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways that you could play it.
Oh.
So there's like the original PS2 launch, then there's the FES Persona 3. Then there's the PSP version of Persona 3, which has you the ability to play as a female protagonist.
Mhm.
And then there's the new one, Reloaded. And Reloaded's great. I love it.
Okay.
So like
Interesting.
the only one I would recommend not doing is the original Persona 3 because you don't have the ability to control your party. And on top of that too, the final boss, Nyx, is a motherfucker when you can't control your opponent's your party.
I bet.
So Nyx is considered one of the hardest bosses in video game history. So
Interesting.
that's your little heads up. So just look at the other 3.
Sounds good.
All right, let's continue.
Point. It's well remembered.
Insomniac will eventually say goodbye to first-person shooters. And hello to a charismatic baby dragon.
It's so wild to think that they went from FPS like that to Spyro.
Yeah, that's so wild. Well, technically they had help with the engine, right?
By 1997,
I
Insomniac
think
Games
so,
had
yeah. But
released
I think they
Disruptor,
built
first-person
Disruptor
shooter
from the ground
inspired
up.
by
They
the
said.
world of Doom.
Yeah, they built it from the ground up,
Reviews,
and then they had help
very
when they got
disappointing
signed.
sales.
Yeah.
I think we were encouraged that we did it. We made a game and it was out there on the shelves.
That's nothing too shocking.
There were times where we really thought we were not going to be around for another week.
I want you to get through the chem factory alive.
I think
I'm
that's
acting.
universal enough that they weren't going to.
I'm
We were
actor.
just very fortunate and appreciative to be alive.
Mark Cerny, one of the fledgling company's earliest supporters, puts in his 2 cents for their next
Look
endeavor.
how young Mark Cerny is here.
Was looking ahead
I
to
know.
Before he
Oh.
got like
PlayStation
rapist
and realized
face.
that the demographics were quickly moving downward.
And the video game troupe changes their direction.
I wanted to do a game that my mother would be able to play, and she didn't like Disruptor very much. I think we all wanted to do something that had a more mass market appeal.
Yeah, Craig initially threw out the idea of a dragon.
So instead of flying all the time, he's more of a young dragon who walks and glides. We kind of messed around with that. We did some sketches, and
Once the idea was suggested, it kind of clicked with all of us individually that, boy, wouldn't this suit us better? We don't have to try to be.
What I love
better
about
than the
these
next
old
guy. We could
documentaries,
just
to pause this for a
be
second,
Mhm.
is just looking at the old school computers and all their
Oh, I
stuff they have
know.
around them.
See the old MacBooks and the old ass computers and shit.
The old Windows monitors. Oh
I
my
also
God.
love like the janky little cubicles, dude.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
kind of whimsical.
And a young star begins to hatch.
I think we felt really confident right from the first character drawing. At that point, we thought, okay, now
Yeah.
this looks like a mascot character. This looks like something that could be big.
His name is Spyro. And his world is unlike any other.
Well, it's
go.
vaguely medieval, but more fantastic.
I want to know who idea was to put him on a skateboard.
It was one of the first games that really had distant views, where we were able to create these very wide open environments, and that was a result of Al's engine being able to create multiple levels of detail for the environment.
The game that is supposed to be fun is having some serious labor pains.
I have to say that there were points in the production cycle where we were in crunch mode, just like every other development team, and things looked fairly bleak.
Never fear, Spyro, the cute little purple dragon, meets the deadlines. His mission on the PlayStation is to rescue his dragon friends from imprisonment.
Thank you for releasing me.
All while searching through vast environments and hidden chambers for clues. But the 3D platform game doesn't receive the reviews Insomniac was hoping for.
Really?
The previews and the reviews
What?
in general talked about Spyro being a kiddie game. To see it called a kiddie game implied that it was a very simple, novice-oriented game that
I
wouldn't
hate when
satisfy the
people
hardcore
do
players.
that.
Following promising previews at E3,
And he took that personally, Ted Luce, basically.
Bro, that's gonna be the meme for your show. Just put side by side.
Just Ted Ted Price's face on Jordan, and you're like, and I took that personally.
I took that personally. Fuck you, Sony
Fuck you, my
owner.
game's not novice and easy.
He's
Assholes.
attacking. Yeah. I've always hated that argument though. Like something that's like G and just for everyone immediately kids game. Like
Yeah.
no. Bright, beautiful, artistic fantasy direction for everyone. No profane. Like that's not kid. It's just for everyone.
Yeah.
I've always hated that argument. And
Oh.
I always
I was gonna say something because pop culture brings it up over here. He says that's like saying cartoons are for kids.
yes, exactly.
Have you ever heard of a? I think it was Warner Brothers. It was Warner Brothers, or yeah, it had to be Warner Brothers. But they used to do this wartime cartoon called Private Fubar. Have you ever heard about that?
I don't think so.
Oh my
Private
goodness, you should look those up because it was
Fubar.
basically,
What the hell is this?
yeah, it's like old World War II things for GIs that were like little like training things for them to like. One of them was like, don't get drunk and like blab to people, and it would have like these like really hot women, and their like tits are like microphones, and they're reporting back to Adolf Hitler. Oh, Private Snafu. That's it. Private Snafu. That's it. Thank you, pop culture.
It's giving me bars in like Phoenix area.
I couldn't remember.
Private. Sorry, what was it called?
Snafu.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Snafu Spies.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. This is like OG. Oh, there's Hitler.
Yeah.
I see him. It's like Betty Boop shit.
Yeah, it was made to train soldiers always wear your gas mask. Yeah, like I said,
It's amazing.
I got Snafu and Fubar. Like they're both like short for something, but thank you for
he's in
bringing that up.
hell. He's in hell with all the Nazis right now. This
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Yeah, you should watch those. When Paul was out here a couple weeks ago for my birthday, there's a local restaurant we went to, and they were playing Private Snafu.
What the fuck? Oh, it's an ass. Oh my god. What the what am I watching? This is amazing. So Hitler dressed as the devil puts him in a cauldron, and then he shows him a mirror, and then a donkey's ass comes out.
Yeah, like I said, these are great. These are great. Everyone look that up. Private Snafu, if you got a chance. Thank you, Pop, for correcting me. I couldn't remember. I got my military acronyms messed up. Sorry. All right, let's continue.
Spyro makes his debut in the fall of 1998, and well, he doesn't exactly fly off the shelves.
In Europe, it took off.
Oh, I do wonder if that's how I played it. I feel like, because back then, like, if games didn't sell right away, they were fucking $5 in a bin at Kohl's. You know what I mean? Like, they just sold them everywhere massively.
I think they were just telling like it did well in Europe. They were saying.
Yeah.
So let's hear what they had to say first.
Definitely was slow.
It didn't catch on right away.
But then after Christmas,
Europe would love it. It's very
Tolkien-y.
Tolkien-y.
Having a solid weeks, bigger than the launch week, and it just didn't taper off. Through January, February, March, it just kept on selling.
So holidays.
Audiences like from young kids to their.
Oh yeah, because that's when the game industry kind of like we need to release during holidays.
I think we'd had almost
Smart.
2 million in sales. Just in a
The
year.
learning pains.
And Spyro becomes a sleeper hit.
I was at the DICE conference, and they said that
Who the fuck is
first
this guy?
Spyro, I think, is the
I don't know.
number
He
5
does all the work.
PlayStation game of all time, or some.
And
really
eats all
high
the
number.
food in the fridge.
And I was very surprised by that.
But the celebration is short. And the pressure is on. The team that has grown to 13 people is asked to create the sequel
Wow.
by the next Christmas.
13!
We were under the double pressure of having a truncated development cycle and trying to come up with something that would make this game feel like more than a sequel, something that was a little bit more revolutionary than evolutionary.
And jumping on board this time is Peter, another Hastings brother.
When my older brother came on, they were
There's 3 of them?
starting to be
Guess so.
concerned, that that's 2 out of 3 lost to the dark side. And when my younger brother joined, it was all over.
He looks even crazier than him.
No, let's see if we get a picture. of
Look at
this
his
guy.
This time is Peter, another.
There we go. Not the best one that we could get, but
His face, dude.
dude, you know who he looks like? The guy from Smash Mouth. That's what he looks like. a little bit.
Does. He has that creepy smile where he just walks up to girls and they're like, "Do you want to see my pet rats?" And then just holds his bright smile as he stares into her soul.
He's like the one that didn't go to Princeton. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
He's Favre.
He works at Subway.
License registration, chicken fucker. That's our younger brother. He's the one that
He's special.
We couldn't send him to Princeton.
He's the
Hastings'
janitor.
brother.
When my older brother came on, they were starting to be concerned, that that's 2 out of 3 lost to the dark side. And when my younger
Yeah, it's like
brother
these
came
guys
on,
actually had real jobs. And look
Like,
at him.
that's the picture right there.
The
That's
future
a
is
face of a
closing
guy
in
who
for the
skins
folks at
cats.
Insomniac. Where's the
Dude, yes.
We scrambled, threw out a lot of ideas, and finally settled on the mini games in Spyro 2, which really set it apart from the first.
Oh, they got hockey?
Here we go.
sequel, Spyro Ripto's Rage finds the cute purple dragon caught up in another unlikely adventure. This time, freeing a kingdom from the ill-tempered tyrant Ripto.
I hate dragons.
Ah, racism.
Requires collecting items from the game's 20
I don't know why
plus
people
levels
hated
of
this game,
explorable
too.
3D world.
Really? I thought a lot of
Story,
people
I think,
loved
was
this
a
one.
little bit more mature.
It was news to me. I was on a podcast. Apparently, everyone fucking hated it. I loved
what
it.
the animators could do.
Yeah, you always get surprised
And
by that,
what
right?
about the name?
That's funny because a Japanese version of Spiral, if you look at the title, it looks like it says Ripto in kind of funny tangled letters.
It debuts in
kidding.
the fall of '99.
That's how they came up with
Oh,
definitely not.
wow, that's
First one was
cool.
a
I
two.
didn't know that.
And the answer is no. Reviewers tout the more adult game, and it sells. Big time.
We had grandmothers writing us that they had stolen the game from their grandkids.
this. Wait. All right.
they
Hold on a
liked it
second
better.
here. How do people fucking hate this when they're telling us that this was even better than the first one? Like, who are you hanging out with?
I don't remember.
I need names.
I do. I need names too.
This- this-
I think I don't remember. I'm gonna go harass people again and see who hates it.
was it the contrarians?
I don't
Those
remember.
Damn contrarian. No, okay. All right, let's continue.
I feel like I'm a
They wanted to
contrarian
play
and I fucking love it.
Sony wants a third Spyro game for the 2000 holiday season.
Oh, I love that controller.
Named
Yeah, the green
Insomniac.
one.
That
was cool.
green, yes.
In Spyro
I've been
3,
trying. It's
we
so
had 4
fucking
new
expensive. I
characters,
can't find it.
And they had their own little home worlds, and so you could experience their home worlds from their perspective, and then they all tied into the story.
We were able to take the focus off Spyro somewhat and put it onto these other characters with their own moves, their own levels. It really breathed a breath of fresh air into the franchise.
So
the
in-
third game, Spyro Year of the Dragon, is released in
Yeah.
time for
I
Christmas
hear this one's like the
2000
best
and
one.
revolves around stolen dragon eggs.
Find the eggs.
It's kind of slow, but it is good.
Spyro has acquired some new tools: a
Skateboard.
skateboard,
I think it's the longest one,
submarines, and even
which was kind of a trend for
you can
Sony
play different
games.
characters, a kangaroo,
To,
a yeti, a
The
flying
first
fish,
game comes out,
and others.
and then they say,
guess
"Go
what?
fuck
It's
yourself." You have
another
half the
hit.
amount of time to make a sequel.
All three
right?
titles went
Right.
And then the
extra
third
large
one
in
was usually longer. Like the second one was usually the shorter one, and then 3 was like they had all the budget and time, and they made like a big proper game. Like 2 was short, Slide 2 was short as well, and then 3, because 2 had a short story as well, and then Year of the Dragon has a much longer story that kind of takes a bit for it to start.
Yeah,
know,
it's the rule of 3,
going.
right? You're closing out, so
Yeah.
you get your chance, especially because the first 2 were such critical successes.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the first one's critical success, and then he even said it. He had less time to do 2, which is why it's 2 is shorter and it's simple. People didn't like the simple, like goofy Farquaad villain who just doesn't have a motivation other than I hate dragons. And I'm just like, I don't know how that's not good enough. Like, 1, it's funny, and yes, it's real. People just are prejudiced for no reason. I don't need to know why someone's prejudiced. That's like what makes modern writing so bad. Just, I'm funny, goofy villain. Come kill me. Like, I don't need
Yeah.
anything more than that in a video game.
You don't need to
Like,
be taught a lesson that violence is wrong. And
Yes,
all that stuff.
exactly.
You know?
It's like the same thing you bitch about this game is what makes modern writing terrible. I don't get it. It's cognitive dissonance or something.
It's like the devs are like, I hate gun control. Here's my first-person shooter.
Literally, dude. God, that's what the Tomb Raider fuckers did.
It's funny. Well, I kind of like the bow and arrow systems too, though.
Oh no, I was talking about when they said, by the way, we didn't make this game. We know raiding tombs is bad. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
The Tomb Raider reboots was
Crystal.
I thought it was fun, but it's not Lara Croft and it's not Tomb Raider. Like you know what I mean? Like I felt like it could have just been its own thing because I don't associate her with Laura. It's not a Tomb Raider story, but the game itself was fun.
It was Uncharted, basically.
It's literally Uncharted with like brutalized deaths. Like you just saw this woman get fucked up in the most like twisted way possible.
Well,
And I'm like,
Indiana
holy
Jones inspired Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider inspired Uncharted, and then
Oh yeah,
Tomb Raider copied Uncharted. That's what it was.
I love ripoffs, dude. I've never said that as a bad thing. Like, yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Many categories, and all three become part of Sony's greatest hits collection. The combined sales of the three Spyro titles is well over 8 million units.
Oh wow, that's
we
impressive,
were really
actually.
scraping the bottom of the barrel to come up with new
Wow.
ideas for Spyro 3.
Well, at that point, we were really starting to think about, what comes next.
I hate that he
So
talks like a
we
sex
decided
offender.
that it was better for us to start
He
with a new
does. He
franchise,
does.
try to come up with
I
a new
saw her
character,
go
and
from the
try to
Dairy
just
Queen
push Spyro
to the
to
gas
the end.
station,
Definitely a little bit sad.
but she went back to the Dairy Queen.
Exactly.
That's when the cops showed up.
But it was the right choice in the end.
We just wanted to shake hands and part ways with Universal and then propose something new directly to Sony.
Although fans of the franchise can look forward to future adventures with the dragon, it will be produced by another company. Insomniac had to say goodbye to their quirky little dragon.
It was really hard to leave Spyro behind.
You know what's also funny is that now they're both owned by Microsoft. A lot of these original PlayStation mascots. That's so wild to think about.
It is wild.
And they're saying we might get a Spyro 4. That's a big rumor everyone's pushing.
Interesting. Again, back to the ripoffs. I would rather you just make another little dragon. I'm tired of the quadruple sequels. Spyro 12. No, I don't want Tomb Raider 12 either. I want Uncharted. You know what I mean? Like I want a new ripoff. And ripoff is a slur. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's deeply inspired. Just make your own version of Spyro and just be inspired by things that inspired you, because that's all these guys ever did. They just copied the things that they liked. But it's because we're on the internet and we have like a complete history of literally everything, people can just point to something and say, oh, they basically just ripped off this. It's like, well, everything you ever liked or enjoyed was made by someone who is basically, air quote, ripping off something else.
Right, exactly. Let's continue.
He's kind of our little baby.
That was a good transition.
After releasing Spyro Year of the Dragon, Insomniac has grown to over 30 people. The three original founders
I like their
are still
original logo a
surprised by
lot.
the incredible international
Yeah, I like it too.
success of the Spyro
I remember it
franchise.
kind of scared me as a kid. I don't know why.
Feeling that
Red
you're
and
not
imposing.
as good as you
Yeah, well, because it was like 1 a.m. and then that bright red.
Insomniac shocks the gaming world when it announces it's leaving Spyro behind for a new game and character.
So I'm thinking, what if we made that code
Oh yeah, here we go.
a little bit smaller?
Personally, a lot more nervous releasing the first one of a brand new set of characters or a brand new whatever we're doing.
Maybe if these guys animated less. How about that?
Okay, you could do that.
Alex leads the push to create the new game franchise on the bigger and better PlayStation 2.
He's got better
Oh, yeah.
low-level problem-solving skills than anyone else I've ever met, and that's what you need for the PS2. I don't think there are very many other people who could really tackle the PS2 the way he has.
It definitely was a quantum step to move from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2.
It was very, very challenging, but I think that was the exciting part of it. It was kind of mysterious because no one really knew what the PlayStation 2 could do quite yet.
It's funny how things work because I think now we could probably create a Spyro level in about 2 days, where before it took about 4 weeks.
The Spyro franchise began with the birth of a cute little character, and so will the new game.
Well, the initial kernel of the concept came from Brian Hastings. He said, how about we do a space adventure with some gadgets?
That idea was a science fiction theme because that's about as far from Spyro as you can get.
The new game, called Ratchet and Clank, features a lead character who is, well, a little atypical.
Ratchet is a Lombax.
Let's
Now,
go.
Lombax, and neither had we until we started this project. We basically made it up.
If you pull him apart and dissect him, he's got kind of a lion's tail. He's got a somewhat humanoid kind of body. He's got big cat ears. He's got kind of a doggish face.
Ratchet's
God, his eyes, I forgot how
underdog
fucking
character
wild
that
they were.
lives on this backwater planet, and he just dreams about seeing these fantastic worlds.
And his cohort in this adventure?
Am I cool now?
Yeah, you the man, Clank.
A tiny robot. who
Yes!
spends much of the game riding on
Go.
Ratchet's back.
Clank, we tried to create the exact opposite of that, where he's very book smart.
Do you run on standard XP18 sister boards? Version 7.66.
But has no world knowledge at all.
Yeah, you got no street smarts.
Guy, per se.
Nerd.
I like him.
But he's good at heart. So the two of them have that in common, but their everyday struggles kind of are at odds with each other.
One thing that most people don't know is that Clank is a playable character. Clank has his own challenges in the game where he gets to use his special abilities that Ratchet doesn't have.
Once you kind of play the game a little bit, you just fall in love with the characters.
And how's this different from their first beloved franchise?
Ratchet and Clank draws
voice
from
acting
some
is so
similar
good in this
elements
game,
of
too.
Spyro, but we've pushed it in a whole different direction. We have a lot of different elements. There's shooter elements, RPG elements.
For the people who have really not been into the Spyro games, as you get to
Wow, they even overused the term RPG back then.
Yeah, like I said, man, people don't remember that a lot of these issues we talked about for many years.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Look, this is not an RPG, man.
No, it's so wild to just look back upon like just Ratchet and Clank, and then you're just seeing how like it was made. Like they were like 13 people, bro. That's how many people we hired.
Dude, yeah. Versus like the 79.
Some studios have like 200 people, you know?
Yeah, dude. That's wild.
Jack and Daxter to MMO. What up, JT? How you doing, buddy?
MMO. Well, I mean, technically, Ratchet and Clank turned into an MMO. Deadlock. Deadlock was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, we're almost done. Let's get through this.
Available to you really ramps up.
And it's a beautiful collection of fantastic worlds.
It's a different galaxy where spaceships and robots and high-tech gadgets are the norm. So there's technology
remember
everywhere
that.
you look.
There's
Oh, the
some
gadgets were so
really
much fun.
Amazingly incredible detailed worlds. People are just gonna be astounded by the visuals. Every different.
That's the one thing
point
about the Ratchet and
can
Clank
really
series.
have some
Really
outstanding
fun weapons.
Yeah.
And all of the characters, both big and small, have multifaceted personalities.
Some of the characters are angry.
Oh, I bet that was very fair.
We try very hard with all of our characters to make sure they're not plain vanilla. Every time you encounter a character in Ratchet and Clank, they're going to have a very strong personality.
They are, dude.
And what about the weapons?
Sweet.
We really didn't want parents to be upset when their kids played this game. There's no blood. Sure, you are blowing things up. We couldn't get around it. That's the gameplay. That's what happens. But you don't blow something into 50 pieces and see blood splatter lying on the ground.
You have
Glove
an
of Doom.
arsenal of
Love that.
more than 30 gadgets and tools and weapons at your disposal.
Real men can swing without silly toys like that.
And this is a game for everybody.
I think it's very accessible. You don't need to know a whole lot about video games.
First and foremost, core of the game.
Oh, the Tesla gun.
But there are some puzzles that are fairly cerebral.
For people who do play video games, this offers something different for the genre of games. There's just so much stuff to do. Compared to Spyro, there's 10 times as many moves you can do, 10 times as much stuff you can blow up.
Boom.
And what can we expect from Insomniac tomorrow?
I think the sky's the limit, really.
Oh my.
So much is that everyone's just working so hard to make the best thing they can.
I'll tell you exactly.
I think as long as we're loving what we're doing, hopefully people love playing it.
The
That's our
fuck
real
is
hope,
that?
that we can get a good response from the public. People saying, that was really fun.
That's so
Nice.
wild to think, man. Just how far Insomniac has come. This is only the first Ratchet and Clank game, too.
Yeah, dude. No, they didn't even get into the other one. I thought
Yeah.
we'd get more into them.
No, so that's very interesting. So I'm gonna close this out here real quick.
Yeah, now Insomniac's like, yeah, we're gonna keep giving people shit that they don't know and don't like until they like it. Like,
Yeah,
like, okay, dude.
I feel
got
like
it.
so what's going on now, obviously, that was just it just covered Insomniac literally just playing, making Spyro, and then right to Ratchet and Clank. So obviously after that, Ratchet and Clank has spawned so many different franchises like Crack in Time. Up
There's like 2 generations of it, you know.
Yeah, like Up Your Arsenal, Crack in Time, All for One, Deadlock, as we said. Obviously, the aforementioned Clank game, Size Matters.
Yep.
The remake of the first game for the PS4. Then, of course, we have Rift Apart that came out on the PS5. But also a lot of stuff in between there, too. You have, obviously, Sunset Overdrive is another game that they made.
Oh my god, I remember. Yeah, Resistance. I remember Sunset Overdrive. Yeah, they've evolved a lot.
And they made a submarine game, right?
I don't know.
I
Submarine.
forgot they made like a under deep or something, Under the Deep.
Under the Deep. Let me see.
It's like I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. And then they made that like really horrible game too with EA. Oh, what is that game called? Chat, help us out.
Song of the Deep.
Song of the Deep. That's it. That's the submarine game.
Was that good or no?
I heard mixed things about it. I think that was also published by GameStop.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. They tried doing that for a hot minute.
Yeah, I think GameStop published that game with Insomniac for that run, and it was not that great. And then I like I said, I do remember them also. They worked with Microsoft to make Sunset Overdrive. Then they worked with EA to make like it was like Fuse or something. I think it was Fuse. Let me double check.
Yeah.
You got it up?
Oh, the name. Sorry, say it again. I was looking at something else.
It's like Fuse.
I did see a Fuse.
Yeah, that game I heard was asshole. Like I've never played it because I didn't even know that game existed. So that just tells you how terrible that game was.
Sunset Overdrive. They made phone games too, man. Yeah, they got big.
You got to remember this too. Before the acquisition by Sony, Insomniac Games was an independent studio. You know.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So like they worked mostly with Sony as you saw.
Yeah.
Obviously Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, the Resistance trilogy. You know, they made a lot of iconic and pivotal franchises to the Sony lineup. I would say that I was not a fan of the first Resistance. Did you play Resistance at all?
I didn't like the first one either, so I never played the other ones.
Yeah,
I didn't quite get into them either.
I'm a first-person shooter snob. You know. I would say that my biggest issue with the PS3 was that DualShock 3 was not good for shooting. I don't know what it was, but every game on the PlayStation 3 to me feels very loose, and I don't know why. I just think it's because like the DualShock 3 was so cheap. Like it just felt cheap compared to like the PS2 controller or something like that.
Yeah, the 2 was much nicer.
Yeah. Like the DualShock 4, when they had the PS4, like that was a solid controller.
Yeah, 4's good.
Like I absolutely like it. I still think people overhype the DualSense. I think it's fine, but I think people like
I don't see the difference, honestly.
I mean, I like the rumble feature, but besides that, I'm like, yeah, it
feels too big. Kind of feels too big at some point because its handles are too long. Because the DualShock is a little too small, like compared to like Xbox. Like the buttons are much more spaced out on Xbox, but like the handles are too long on the DualSense, and then it's like too rigid around like the trigger buttons. No, I think the 4 is perfect. I still like the 3 because I'm Sony pony, but it was good for like fighting games too. But you know, PS2 is the best one, especially since I've recently like reheld a PS2 and a PS3. I was just like, I was shocked about how amazing the PS2 controller felt.
I know.
Oh, this does feel as good as I remember it.
So I got a better one for you. Okay. So if you're looking for a really good PS2 controller, Logitech made the best wireless PS2 controller.
I remember that one, dude. I had a friend. Yeah,
love that one. I
that
still
was a
have
solid one.
I went out when I started retro collecting again. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I had this Logitech PS2 controller. I went to look at how much it cost. And it was like $20 on eBay.
Yeah.
And I bought it. And like, dude, that thing is so great. Like the buttons are so snappy. They're very responsive.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things though is the battery life on it is undeniably amazing. I don't know what it is. Like I put 2 AA batteries in there, and I've had like the same AA batteries for like 3 years now inside of this controller.
With the Xbox 360 and yeah, like those wireless like PS2 controllers, dude. I don't ever remember having to change the batteries on those. Because do you remember the Star Wars one that came out with Lego Star Wars in episode 3? It was the blue and the red one, and it glowed. And it had a fucking turbo mode that would make the game go faster. Those were also wireless, and those things lasted forever, dude.
Yeah.
Back then, like third-party controllers were cool, and now like the Power A, like Nintendo ones, God, those are shit. But I fall for the pretty design every time.
Yeah,
they're fine for the actual Switch, but on PC they're horrible.
Oh well, yeah, you right there. You just explained it for PC. Yeah, they're god awful. Like I had the Power A Hades controller,
and
I like that, but like you were saying, they felt very cheap. They almost felt like
they still feel cheap.
They felt like Fisher Price toys. That's the problem.
They do, bro.
Like that they just like feel so clunky and not responsive. It's just like I'm like, what is this? You know, like
because like the buttons like stick more than they click. You know what I mean? Where it's like you can feel it popping out of its hole. It doesn't snap click. You know, like
yeah, that's what I was about to say. They're not snappy.
Yeah, they're not snappy. No.
They're not snappy. No, that's a big problem. But like, my wife got a one of those like luminescent ones, the one that lights up. It's like a purple one. That one feels okay. Like it still feels like cheap, but it feels like hard plastic and not soft plastic, you know?
They look interesting. I thought about getting one, but I didn't. I just went to go get an actual one and a converter. The USB converter to the PS2.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I just wish my biggest problem is like the PS3 controllers are so tiny.
They are, but I like that about them, to be honest.
I don't. My hands are too big.
I loved it. Yeah, I do have I have shorter fingers, that's for sure. I loved it. It especially for like fighting games, dude. It just felt so easier, quick.
Right. So I
a lot of hero shooters with abilities.
I think we should talk about just kind of like what's going on with Insomniac now. Obviously, you know, Insomniac was bought by Sony after the meteoric success of Marvel's Spider-Man. So they were purchased for, I think it said roughly $250 million. And ironically enough, the the way that they announced it was just this casual Jeff Keighley going like, oh yeah, and Sony bought Insomniac, by the way. Let's keep going.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, do you remember that? It's just like he just like drops like this big like news thing, and then it's like anyway. And I was like, what?
I think I watched it and I didn't even notice it until like later on a post. It took me a few times to like comprehend. Oh, Insomniac got bought out. You just can't. It went over my head, dude. Especially because they've always kind of been a Sony company,
right?
And then now it's kind of like, if you already have such a good relationship with them, like why? I mean, it's not like the whole Square Enix thing where it's like they're not getting enough sales to make enough money or whatever. I don't remember reading Insomniac having financial problems.
Right. And I also think like Insomniac was a smaller like they have 2 studios. I think one is based out of North or South Carolina, and then the other one obviously is SoCal.
Yeah. I mean, they failed on Xbox. Like there was like no point. I guess that's the point. Like there's no point not being an exclusive. But it's like they didn't want to make them an exclusive, so they just bought it out instead.
So what happened with the thing was they didn't want to give up the IP rights to Sunset Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they went with Microsoft and made a deal with them, because Microsoft said, "Yeah, we just want the publishing rights, and you can have the IP rights."
Interesting.
Because
It's so weird that it worked out like that, because it was advertised as like an Xbox game.
Well, it
Like,
was.
Yeah.
They published it, but the thing was, like, every so basically Insomniac does not own any of their IP. So
Mhm.
they didn't own Spyro, as you saw. They don't
Yeah.
own Ratchet and Clank, and they also did not own Resistance or anything else like that.
That's crazy.
So what happened was, it's not so much that Insomniac had financial issues, is they had like
No, yeah.
no financial security.
Mhm.
So like they
That
basically
makes sense.
Sony was like kind of like bending them over the barrel and just
Well.
kind of like saying like, okay, well we'll help fund your game, but we own your IP rights.
Damn, that's
So-
pretty. It's rough.
So like that's really what happened with them. So they kind of, that's why you saw like after Resistance and stuff like that, where they were going out and they were making games like Song of the Deep, or they were going out and making games like Sunset Overdrive or Fuse.
Yeah, they kind of just ran. I think they just. It looks like they just ran out of creative ideas, because all these other little indie Windows games that they made, like, I have not heard of any of them. They've made phone games. They've made just straight to PC games, and then it's just boom, you get Spider-Man. Like, how lucky of a break that is.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you ever play Sunset Overdrive, you get a lot of that proto Spider-Man feel to
Yeah,
that game for sure.
to me, it always looked like Infamous.
Yeah, I can understand that comparison.
It's what appealed me to it. I'm like, oh, dude, it's like Infamous. Like, I'd play that.
Yeah,
Love Infamous.
I really was not a huge fan of Sunset Overdrive. I think the whole over the top wackiness like kind of just wore thin on me.
I don't remember any like memorable clips from it though, so I just don't think it probably landed.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
people say it's like one of the best games on Xbox. I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't really agree 100% with you on that one. Is it a terrible game? I would probably say no, but do I think it's overhyped? Personally, my opinion, yeah, I think it's vastly overhyped. And I've tried to play this game like 3-4 times, and
The
every
marketing
time,
was insanely overhyped too.
well, because they also,
Everyone was so excited for it. I remember. That's all I remember.
I think it was also a launch title, you know?
Oh, was it a launch
It was like probably like a launch title / launch window title.
No.
So I know it was like a very early Xbox launch title. What was the
You're
release date?
right. 2013.
Yeah, so like I said, it was like launch title / launch
14.
window.
2014.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I can understand why Microsoft was like really hyping it, because this is like a big deal. They're getting Insomniac to make a game for them and everything else like that. It's an exclusive. So
Wild.
it makes sense why they would put a lot of money behind it. And then obviously we're talking about Spider-Man. And Spider-Man went
Spider-Man.
insane. Obviously, I think you and I said that we really did enjoy that game a lot.
Yeah.
So
Well, now they're actively like passing the mantle over. Like the like, if Insomniac continues with this line of the Spider-Man games, they're going to be Miles Morales games, and then there's speculation that there won't be. It'll still be the two of them or something, right? But the way that they ended the second one was very much like passing of the mantle to Miles.
So the funny thing is here, I guess we should say, I think Ted left. Ted Price left. I think after Miles Morales, because I think he got his paychecks to clear, and he's like, I can retire now, guys. Bye.
Yeah, he like retired.
Yeah, so he's no longer at the studio. So like that's like a big thing, and I think what we saw obviously, like Spider-Man 2 was like ground zero for a lot of the controversies that like built some people's channels. Obviously, that's where we talked about like the Sweet Baby Inc. involvement and everything else like that.
This is my biggest YouTube video. I got 20 fucking views talking about the Mary Jane shit.
Yeah. Obviously, there were so many memes about the Mary Jane face model, and some people were like coping and they're like, well, she got in a car accident. I'm like, and
What the fuck does that mean?
it's like, are you saying she's ugly now too? Are you like, what are you saying?
So my video, dude, I was just like, she's actually kind of cute. It's just they purposely draw her to look fucking retarded. Like that's always, but I've been convinced that they draw them ugly on purpose because you can face model them and then you can change the face model a bit, right? Like Claire Obscure, like we see, who's the actor that plays Gustav?
Oh,
he's the Daredevil actor.
Yeah, Charlie Cox.
Yes, Charlie Cox. So he like it's face modeled him, but the actual model actor is not him, and they also kind of changed the face a little bit. So they have face models, but they still change the model so that it looks good in the game. Right. And so I was just saying they're either like fucking lazy, they scanned it and called it a day, or make them ugly on purpose. Because everyone just saying that this girl's ugly is just, you're fucking lying. She's a normal, pretty looking girl. It's just, they didn't put the effort into making Mary Jane look good, either on laziness or on purpose.
So here's my problem with Mary Jane. It looks like from the first game to the second game that she's aged like 30 years.
Oh, I know.
That's like the problem. It's like Mary Jane went from like a young, early 20s looking girl to like she's Peter Parker's like MILF girlfriend. You know,
she like 3 kids and it's been 15 years later or something, you know?
Yeah. You know, like she's just recently divorced and she's got a nice young boy toy, you know what I mean?
Yes, literally. It's so bad.
That's like not my problem. Like she just looks like a dock worker, you know, more than anything. She looks like a good Irish woman. Like she could take a fucking beating, you know?
Oh, she's an Ireland 10, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, like and that was like my thing. It's like, look, I'm like, she's not like super terrible looking, like after you take away the jokes, but I'm like, she just looks too old to be like, this is a like a relationship of this is a spring winter relationship more than, you know, a fucking normal relationship.
Well, that's something that like it's like the whole like slippery slope thing where it's like I didn't like it either, but it was fine. Where like Mary Jane is like she's like in Spider-Man 2018. Mary Jane is basically just Lois Lane.
And I'm okay with that.
I don't know. It didn't quite bother me. But the thing is that the writing in 2018 was good though, because Peter hits it with the classic line of, well, because like she's like, I need to do it on my own because Spider-Man's always saving me. Where? That was kind of fucking annoying. But Peter's writing is great, where he does the whole, look, just because I don't need you doesn't mean I don't need you. Like I want to rely on you because I care about you. You know, like that line was great. But in 2, he just fucking cries about everything. Like
they all cry about everything.
God,
you know,
so bad.
You know what pisses me off about number 2, and spoilers for anyone that didn't play it. But it's basically in like number 1, it's like Peter has to like choose between saving his like beloved Aunt May or the city, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that like this is where I get pissed off when people are like, "Oh, story's not good." I'm like, bro, Peter is like crushed because they have that moment where Peter's like, I need to save my aunt. You know, she's like my everything. She's like the woman who like raised me. She's my mom. And like you just see him like break down at the end because you know he can't do it. Like he does what this a real hero does. He has to sacrifice one of his like loved ones in order to save everyone. You know?
Oh yeah.
And it's sad and it's terrible. And then we get to Spider-Man 2, and like Mary Jane just like constantly is like bitching about like, oh, Peter, you don't understand. I want to be a good journalist. And I'm like, bitch, he fucking let his aunt die to save the fucking city, and you're bitching about your like career and how he doesn't care. It's like,
I know.
It's like there's like no, you know, like here, how can I say this? It almost feels like the writers who are like also super liberal and progressive like hate women. You know what I mean?
Dude, I know they do.
Like they just made like one of the most like mean and annoying women, especially because she writes like a hit piece about him too. Do you remember that?
Oh yes, uh-huh.
And I was like,
And
oh, that's great.
we're gonna have apparently we're gonna have like an identical scene in the new James Gunn Superman movie where like Lois is gonna do a hit piece on him, kind of thing. We're gonna get that whole thing again.
All right, so I'll be honest with you on this one. If like the relationship is not established, that's okay.
Yeah.
But like the relationship's established, you know what I mean?
So actually that scene of them like arguing and yelling at each other or whatever, I actually think Mary Lois Lane is, I think her writing is fine. It's because she's not interviewing him. She's asking him questions that the media is going to ask him. Right. You know what I mean? Because like this isn't me like questioning your judgment on causing war, escalating war. Like this is what the like journalists are going to ask you. But it's him losing his shit that I hate. It's the writing on Superman losing his composure. Like that's the problem. Like, I think Lois Lane's writing is fine there, but you get like the opposite in Spider-Man, which is funny.
I gotta see Superman first. I can't judge something off of, you know, basically like a couple.
Oh yeah, no, that's speculation
seconds and stuff like that. But like with the Spider-Man stuff, is like we see like just a drastic, you know, de-evolution in writing. You know.
Well, to think that Peter's been in media longer than her. Right. And he literally takes pictures of himself and deals with Jameson his whole superhero career. To think that he doesn't understand like the belittling is insane. And it's like Peter tries to help her in the first game with her journalism, and then she like rejects it. But again, he's written well. Like he overcomes her kind of being a pain in the ass, and it's fine because it works. And it's just like you miswrite both of them. Now it's like they're just both terrible.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like I said, I don't really call too many games like woke or something like that. Like there's like bad writing. Like my old saying is like everything badly written is woke, but not everything badly written is like, you know, I fucked that up. Everything not everything badly written is woke, but everything woke is badly written. You know?
Yeah. I hate that word. You know I do. I don't need to use that word to tell you why I don't like something. Right. Also, I feel like woke has only been correctly used when it comes to rewriting something that's existing.
Right.
Where it's like, I don't care if you make a new story and it's progressive. I don't care. It's when you try to subvert something that I like that's already existing. That's the only time that it's been applied. But it's just been so overused where I'm like, I don't have to use the word woke. I can just say, you killed Spider-Man. You killed Mary Jane. Like, I can tell you why I don't like something. I don't need a fucking buzzword.
You know what? I find this is like a fun argument that we have where it's, for me, I feel like all these characters have been rewritten and changed so much since like the early days of like when they originally came out. You
like
know,
the Flash
or Batman, Spider-Man, all of them have like changed so much, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like when people start like, because I had this argument with someone before where it's like, when they go like, well, you gotta respect the lore. I'm like, well, which lore? Which lore are we trying to respect? You know, are we talking about like Thanos has a helicopter? You know, are we talking about Superman has crypto? Are we talking about, you know, a pup named Scooby Doo? Like, what lore are we talking about here? You know, and
that's very true. Yeah,
and I feel like I tried to, I used to be like more gung ho into this when I was like watching all this like, you know, brain rot content, and now that I've kind of just like, you know, weaned myself off, learned more about writing and history and stories like that. I feel like it's always important to judge a story by like, okay, what are the story beats here? And, you know, obviously the Spider-Man game, they establish a universe, all right? They basically say like, this is Peter Parker. He's got a lot of like the big beat villains, you know, like the Sinister Six and everything like that. He's got a history. Jonah Jameson. It was after his Daily Bugle run. You know.
Yep.
And like we have
he went through college already. He's done. He's out
Yeah.
of college.
So we got like a lot of like the story beats. Like okay, so a lot of it is like familiar. You know.
Yep.
It's not like super radical, but then you see like they got the modern design changes and stuff like that. Like the Vulture, like depending on what lore you go, is like the Vulture like like absorbs people's souls to get younger, or he's just like average Joe. He's a jobber, you know.
Yeah.
And I think they did a good job with like the villains and stuff like that. Like obviously in the first game you had Taskmaster, you had Rhino,
Yeah.
Scorpion, Vulture, Shocker, Doc Ock, and there was one other guy, I think.
Hammerhead was the DLC.
No, Hammerhead was also in the main story, and they had that fucking that really annoying you know,
Sable.
No, not Sable. No, the other girl, Screwball, I think.
Oh yeah, Screwball.
Yeah.
That was like kind of like the darkest I'm shocked they put Screwball in there because like that's kind of the darkest element in those games. Because like Spider-Man comics and movies kind of get kind of dark sometimes.
Yeah.
But like she's like, yeah, I enjoy watching people suffer. This is fun. You know,
Yeah, she's live streaming it and shit.
I want to get clicks and see people die versus like I just want money or you know I want to take over the whole city. You know I want. They had like normal motivations, and like I get high off views and clicks and people die. I'm like, oh my god, I'm shocked they put this in here.
Yeah, and I thought how they introduced Miles was pretty good. I didn't.
He's
hate
a
that.
sidekick. I fucking fine with it. My issue has always been he needs a goddamn name. Please, I don't want to call him by his secret identity. Just give him a name. They can't just both be. That's just the most stupidest like culture war argument ever. That you can't just be called Spider Boy. I think Kid Arachnid's a badass name.
Oh yeah,
that name's fucking sick, dude. Just
right.
What's wrong with Kid Arachnid? And so that's why I bring up, you know, when you said, you know, superhero adaptations, what lore are we following here? And I said, okay, kind of like the Flash, right? Where the Flash had Wally West, and then it had Barry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Allen was not liked by the existing fans, right? It was controversial, but the thing is so many new fans came in and liked Barry Allen that it didn't matter. So ultimately, it's not about are you following the lore? It's about is it good?
Right.
And so you're going to have existing fans that want it to be accurate to the lore that they like. And if not enough people like your change, then it goes away. And so that's all. And the thing is just with AAA companies, dude, you can't just have a small niche following for the new Spider-Man that's Miles Morales, because that's why everyone just says, well, Miles Morales fails because you actually can't make money off of him. You don't have enough fans that will support a Miles Morales because you have enough Spider-Man fans that can like both. But that's the difference between kind of that argument. Will enough people accept the change of Miles Morales versus they did Barry Allen? No, times are very different.
Yeah, and
I think it also goes down to the name. Just give him a new fucking name and identity, and I think you totally do something.
Yeah, which I wanted to bring that up because when I played Miles Morales, the video game, they're both calling each other Spider-Man. It's like, you guys, Spider-Man, thanks, Spider-Man. I'm like, come on, guys, like.
That's a
see how
funny.
stupid it is.
I know. That's a funny joke until he gets his actual name. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, knocked my mic over. But yeah, it sounds so silly, dude. I hate it.
Yeah, like I understand. Like you can make the argument. It's like, well, you know, in some lores, you know, Dick Grayson becomes Batman for a bit, but he's not like Batman. He's still Nightwing. He eventually leaves the shadow.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, exactly.
And then it's
he
like,
does a new identity.
who's
that was a story of pride too.
Yeah, like the thing is, I'm tripping over myself. It's like Miles is not like a bad character, you know?
No.
Like he's a relatable kid. He's fun. Like in the first 2 games, he's awkward and everything else. I actually did enjoy the Spider-Verse first movie. I haven't seen the second one.
I did too. I love the animation. I love the art style. I know
do
people
too.
shit on it. I love it.
I mean, it was good, and it actually felt like Miles was being his own person, you know.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when we go to like Spider-Man 2, is like they just don't know what they want to do, you know.
I still think it's like millennial, like Gen Z writing in Spider-Man 2 because it's so in the first game, Miles is very likable because you kind of just get like these short bursts of him, and there are small moments where you can kind of get an idea of his personality while playing the game. You know what I mean? Where he's like, it's like, whoa, what's this tech? Oh yeah, I can hack this, or like I missed your X, Y, and Z. I'm like, whoa, how you just have the entire system downloaded like in your mask? Like that's wild. Like as you play the gameplay, you learn about characters. That's great. But when you have to sit there for fucking 3 hours, like setting a dinner table on Thanksgiving, like that shit's not fucking fun. That makes me not like Miles. It's boring, you know?
So like I liked his sequel game. Like I said, the glorified DLC as they call it. I did like the Miles Morales game. Like I did think it was fun. It was fun to see all his powers. I didn't overstay its welcome. It was extremely short.
Yeah.
Like you could beat it in the time frame of one football game, and yes, I did test this, so I know for a fact.
You watched your Bears lose, and you're like, "Oh, the game's done."
No, so it was like the height of COVID. So
yeah, it was. I remember.
So I couldn't go visit my mom, obviously, because she's got her illness, and you know we were exposed to someone that might have had COVID, so we had to we had to have Thanksgiving at our house and pick up our food later, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was I was at home because I couldn't go anywhere for Thanksgiving because you know where am I going to go? So I was trying to get the platinum trophy for Miles Morales, and you basically have to play it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was like speed running my way through the game by like because I didn't have to do all the side quests and stuff. So it's like only like 2.5, 3 hours, and I was just like, well, shit, you know.
Well, that's shorter than I thought. I mean, like it wasn't a fully priced game.
No.
So yeah, no problems with it.
Yeah, but then like I said, we just go to Spider-Man 2, and it just feels like everything in Spider-Man 2, like just felt like the pinnacle of like leftist propaganda. And I'm trying not to like be like, oh, it's all woke and everything's crap. It's just like, no, it's like Miles goes to like the super progressive, like multicultural school. Peter and you know his best friend, they are running this environmental center in the name of their mother and aunt, you know, because it's like,
oh, he bitches about guns. Why are there guns in New York? Yeah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, fuck off.
They removed cops pretty much from that game.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if people really knew that too, because like remember if anyone remembers like the first game where it's like Spider Cop and everything else, he's working with that
Spider Cop.
He's working with the detective. She's a hard ass, you know. And I just remember a Kotaku article going like, it's propaganda. How dare that they have Spider-Man working with the cops? I'm like, what the fuck are you people talking about?
He's a good guy.
So what happened was they like removed the cops from like involvement with Spider-Man mostly, and it's just like the fire department is who he deals with in this one.
God, they hate Peter because he likes cops and he hates the media because they lie about him.
Right. and it's like everything about like Spider-Man 2 like is such a like you could like listen. I've played a lot of games that some people like criticize to death, and I go, these people are overblowing a lot of the shit, you know? Like with Spider-Man 2, for me, like they are spot on with a lot of their criticisms, but they fucking keep missing the targets, and they went with like Sweet Baby Inc. as like the target. Because they didn't focus on like a lot of the issues that are actually in Spider-Man. Obviously, we talked about like the deaf girl stuff, you know, obviously like the BIPOC language and stuff like that they put in there. The gay couple going to prom and stuff like that. Like these things obviously have all been talked to death about. But it's also like all the subtle things that they miss, like the taking out on the cops, the hit of like going insane about like, oh well, you know, guns and this, or like even the detective, like she somehow becomes like this super badass superhero, and I don't know why. You know what I mean? It's like she was like just like a cop that felt pushed to the edge, and then the second game she's like, I'm gonna be like Ghost Rider with chains and shit, being able to take on Spider-Man. You know?
You know what used to happen, kind of even in like 2020, is like so like people have issues with like Yellow Flash, but he actually played Spider-Man 2. And so when like I didn't want to watch other people's fucking live streams when they didn't play the game. I was watching a lot of Flashcasts because it was him and say what you want about Endymion, but they actually played the game and they're nitpicking the game. They're not just looking at articles and just like doing the, you know, the buzz terms, sweet baby articles, you know, and just regurgitated information. Where like back then they used to like guest people who did play the terrible game and they would nitpick them about, okay, why is the game bad? Is it good? Yada yada yada. That's all been kind of missed because it's just about chasing the clicks of Concord failure. Let me chase those clicks by trying to make, oh, is Marathon the next Concord? Is that gonna give me my click and shit like that? And I'm just like, Marathon, to me, I hate Marathon because I feel fucking gaslit. Where I'm just like, oh yeah, it's an extraction. And then I'm watching it and I'm like, this looks like a fun arena shooter that's like wasting times with fucking abilities and stuff. You know, it's like the game doesn't look fun. I'd rather nitpick the actual game than go into the buzz term.
Well, you know, another thing too, Mr. Nerd Takes, our friend over here, shout out. How you doing, buddy, by the way? He brings up a good point too. Like they make Mary Jane like a gunslinging stealth fighter.
I do that overpowered taser. Like, what's the fucking point of a video game if you just get? It's because the creative director guy, the stupid bald femme soy boy bitch that was like, here's what you do. We're gonna put things that people don't like in the game until they fucking like it because I say so. It's like people didn't like Mary Jane playing as Mary Jane because it's not because we're fucking sexist. We hate stealth. We hate being a vulnerable person and being forced to play stealth. That sucks. It has nothing to do with being Mary Jane.
So the thing is, here's the thing. So we had obviously the people who were like, why am I playing a game called Alan Wake and I'm not playing as Alan Wake? And those people I fucking want to shoot my fucking head off because I'm like, you guys don't play video games. That's the first thing I think of when I hear that. But
oh, you did like Alan Wake 2.
I did like Alan Wake 2 because I counter with this point here too. Alan Wake 2 made sense. Spider-Man 2, you got double the fucking Spider-Man, and they're trying to make you not play as Spider-Man. Like, that's the problem with the Mary Jane missions and stuff like that too. It's like, okay, I get that you added something into it for the first time to try to shake up the gameplay monogamy, but like everyone didn't like it, you know?
Well, Sony used to do that, like the Clank areas or the Daxter parts. They were short, sweet, and fun. You know what I mean? And then you got back to Jack. Then you got back to Ratchet. But it was just like, they were a slog, dude. And then it's like, oh, we'll just make her overpowered. It's like, okay, well now it's not fun.
Yeah, but now it's even more stupid because she's fighting off like. She's not fighting off like goons in like ski masks, all right? She's fighting off like the best trained assassins in the world, you know? Like
their armor is plastic for a reason. Like that gun shouldn't work. You know what I mean? It's like high-tech armor.
Well, I'm just like saying, it's like, dude, it's like, okay, we get like some woman who does like Pilates and she's gonna go fight like dudes who are like trained to fucking murder each other for bread.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like what is going on here?
Like Assassin's Creed Shadows makes more sense, right? Like Nerd Take says, I like stealth if it's a stealth game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're not playing a stealth game, you're playing Spider-Man, you know? Yeah, I do like stealth. Like when I play like Elder Scrolls stealth build. So this isn't me shitting on stealth games, but if it's a normal action adventure game and you're forcing me to be stealth, I fucking hate that.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the gameplay in Spider-Man 2 was okay. Like
They just added new abilities that were cool.
It just for me also. This I thought I feel like this is poetic of like my opinions to come. Right as we're like getting ready to fight Sandman, like in the first opening scene, my game fucking crashed. So I was like, oh,
no way.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. I guess little did I know that was the game telling me like strap in.
Beta tester.
But like another problem too was the game actually was really buggy at launch.
I saw. I remember.
So,
that's like every AAA game though. It needs that patch.
Here's the thing. It's not really like every AAA game because like a lot of Sony games never had that issue. Like the last Sony game before that actually had that issue was Days Gone.
I mean, yeah.
And Days Gone that needed like 5 patches before launch. Do you remember that by any chance?
I do. I love Days Gone fans more than I love Days Gone. Like their passion is
Listen,
it's a fun game, but it was just
game.
It's just I hate being this person because I hate when people do it to me. But it was just so overhyped and people begged me to play it for so long, and I played it. I'm like, oh, it's fun.
It was
my goodness, people who love it, and I'm just like, yeah, it was fun. It's a fun game.
Listen, I really love Days Gone. I got a $300 Deacon St. John statue in my statue display case.
He's a good character.
He's fun. I'll say this: fucking writing in that game, dog shit. I think we can all admit that it's dog shit.
Yeah.
Writing.
No, yeah, it's yeah.
Can we all just agree with that? Every Days Gone fan out there, you gotta admit there's some weird design choices. Deacon kind of spurging for no reason. Choices that don't make sense, you know. I wish it would get a sequel because I think that the ending of that game had like a really good, sequel bait setup. If you 100%ed it, that is. But like, I think one of the other issues that, even Spider-Man 2 sets up with that special ending. Do you know about like the Silk Spider introduction?
I don't think so. I actually didn't finish it, but I did like it.
I got the platinum trophy for this because I wanted to make it go in, but they introduce Silk Spider character at the very end because Miles's mom starts dating again, and the new boyfriend, her dad, I don't know Silk Spider's name, but she's an Asian girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they introduce her at the end of that one. So like they basically introduce Silk Spider at the end with
I never quite understood the story because it was very slow. And they wanted it to be like introduce how normal life is in this world, kind of yada yada, right? And it was like, oh yeah, you're all separated and you miss this person and that, but then it was kind of like you don't stay at the settlement too long. So like you don't really get an attachment to like what anyone's goals are until more people start showing up later. Like that was just the weird like storytelling thing that I couldn't quite grasp onto. It's like I didn't have a pure motive. Well, it's like Last of Us, like, oh, we have a destination we have to, right? Or like Resident, there's like an ultimate goal that I care about, and I go, like, not sure what I'm doing. I'm just kind of driving around, killing things, looting things, and living a normal life in a zombie apocalypse. And then I would lose attention to the story because the important antagonists weren't introduced early enough for me to like understand what was going on.
Yeah, and also Nerd Takes here says I didn't really care for the change of Venom from Eddie Brock to Harry Osborn, to be honest.
Oh God, yeah.
I wanted to give it a chance, but the story wasn't good enough to justify the change. Yeah, it was an interesting concept. Like, especially because at the end of Spider-Man 1, you see Harry in the tank with the Venom thing, and we're like, oh, we're gonna get Venom, boys.
It was a pretty hype end game credit scene, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then
Craven should have been a much bigger villain, though.
Craven went out like such a bitch.
Fucking bitch, dude.
I was so upset by that, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna give him terminal cancer." I'm like, "What the hell?"
Fuck, dude.
I'm like, at that point, you're like, "Oh, he's gonna die." We already knew he was gonna die because they
it
didn't
doesn't
bring
make
him back.
sense. Because in Disney Marvel, he's like a vegetarian in this Soyvin movie.
It's not even Disney. That's Sony.
Sony. No, I know, but like, yeah, that's true. But yeah.
And well, they also had like I don't know. I don't watch the Sony ones because like Madam Web. I'm like, who the fuck is Madam Web? You know, I don't even really know that much.
I fucking hate the Webverse, dude. The Madam Web and Spider-Man comics. Like the different iterations are cool. Like, you know, Miguel's cool, 2099's cool.
Yeah.
Actually, dude, the Spider Noir with Nicolas Cage.
That looks good.
Kind of excited for it, dude.
And you know that I will say that the PS3 and Xbox 360 trilogy of
Shattered Dimensions, that was a good game.
Web of Time, Edge of Time, and Web of Shadows.
Yes.
Like that's a good trilogy.
Oh yes, I love Web of Shadows. Like Web is
Go on, finish your point.
I don't think you need Spider-Man Insomniac 2 because it's basically just an inferior Web of Shadows. Like that's what Spider-Man 2 should have been. It should have just been a better Web of Shadows.
Yeah, it's just like I said. It's like they had two good games, like one amazing one. I totally disagree with people who go like, well, 28 Spider-Man was bad. I'm like, I totally disagree with you on every aspect.
It's so good.
I just do. I'm sorry. Like they even got like that whole little detail that like a lot of people missed, where like Peter's like throwing dudes off a building and then he shoots like a safety web that just sticks them onto a building. Like that's like a great attention to detail.
Yeah.
You know, and like it was so good. And Miles Morales, it's like for what you played, I was like, I like the Prowler fight. The Prowler fight was great, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then we get we get to like, you know, number 2, and it's just like, you know, I'm sorry, guys. The idea is there, but the heart is not, you know?
The only like argument that the people who don't like 2018 Insomniac were right about is the whole Mary Jane being a reporter's slippery slope. And I'm like, yeah, it's a slippery slope, but they did it fine in the first one.
Yeah.
Right. So I could still enjoy the first one and acknowledge, yeah, like where it goes in the second one, terrible. Like I ultimately still don't like Mary Jane as a reporter, but
I thought
fine
they
with
did
it
a
the
good
first
job
one.
with it first off.
Yeah, it was
like
fine because Peter handles it well. He's written.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks for him. Like he doesn't like it. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm gonna go do my own thing, and he's like,
That's the part
man,
that
this
sucked,
really
was
sucks.
was how entitled white woman she became in
She
the
was
second game.
so entitled. Well, that's what makes Peter fucking relatable, bro. He's just like, dude, this sucks. I really miss my girlfriend. It's
Yeah.
like, and he has to deal with it.
Yeah, it's like even the premise of the second Spider-Man, Miles Morales game is like Peter goes with her to like basically the Middle East, or you know, just to go take care of these people, and he's going there to protect her. And then like they come back, and she's like, I could do everything on my own, Peter. I don't need you.
I have a stun gun.
I have a stun gun, and I do Pilates like twice a week.
Doesn't look like it. You fucking gained weight, bro. They made her gain like
I CrossFit,
50
Peter.
pounds.
You don't
bro.
understand. I could flip a tire.
Oh my god.
And then here it is in the middle of the game. Peter gets smashed by a fucking train, and it's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing
A
here?
fucking fridge, bro. She pushes him out of the way, and the fucking fridge falls on
everything
him.
is just like, I get what you were trying to do here. It's a noble gesture, but it's, sweetie, baby, honey, darling. And then you can't get a fridge off him.
You can't get the fridge off him. The fuck? That's people try to defend that scene because like, well, he can't spider sense the venom, and I'm like, you're correct, but it's still fucking stupid. And then the fridge.
Yeah, and especially because in the games, you know, prior, you see him lifting a car up, you know, and stopping a car and stuff like that. It's just like, come on.
There's the famous scene where he's lifting an entire building up, dude.
Yeah.
God.
Jay over here. What, you guys didn't like the graffiti mission? No, I did not.
That was horrible. You know what? It was fun in Infamous Second Son, and then it got old real fucking quick.
Oh my goodness, you are not wrong about that. It's like, hey, hold the controller on the side, shake it up. Look, you can hear it.
This is pretty cool, man. This is got
cool,
old,
dog. And then after
fucking
that, it's
old.
like, why do I have to keep doing this shit?
Oh yeah.
You know what other game is had that really retarded feature? Concrete Genie. Did you ever play that?
Oh, I did not. I'll look that up.
Concrete Genie was made by Other Ocean, I think, and it was like a PlayStation exclusive. I have it. It's actually kind of fun.
Oh yes, I do know this.
Yeah, they do some
interesting
weird stuff with like paint where you have to move the controller up and down and shit.
This was cool.
Yeah, I want to go back.
I like
and play
some of those. I like some of those artsy fartsy Sony games. I'm not gonna lie.
But
like, what's that Ocean Sword game? That kind of looks fun.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's funny.
So I guess we should say Insomniac's next game that kind of got leaked online that has now basically disappeared.
Oh no! We have to talk about Wolverine.
So Wolverine, I have not seen too many of the leaks because, for one, I didn't really care. But I know enough about the leaks to know that there's not necessarily some things that I can confirm or deny, but I just didn't feel like this felt like Wolverine, I guess you could say. It felt like they took the formula of Sunset Overdrive and then like put it onto Wolverine a little bit.
Yeah, because the game's too bright. So like I hate people that freak out.
Can I stop you for 1 second? I didn't want to cut you off. Let's preference this right now. It is all in beta. It is all basically
That's what I was just about to say.
All right, good.
A lot of people freak out when they see beta footage and saying it looks like shit, and it's like it's not done.
Yes.
Like, you can criticize it doesn't look fun, or I don't like the concept of the game, or like, for example, like the camera is absolutely fucked in the leaks. Like, I hope that gets fixed, but like the rooms where you're forced to fight people, like a free swiveling camera like that is a horrible decision. Concept art, actual gameplay, that is what we judge, not terrible polygons look. So that's a pet peeve of mine.
What I also did not like, Insomniac, I want to say, like, my opinion on Insomniac, they're like a B studio. Like, they make a lot of games that I liked in the past, and I like some of their newer stuff, but I'm not a fan of everything they've done.
They've definitely been around a lot longer than they should have, I think. So they're doing well, I would say,
Yeah, I said like a lesser studio would have folded 5 times over by now,
Yeah, I mean, they were folding until they just kind of bent the knee and say, "All right, Sony, you can buy us," and they go, "Cool, here's your Spider-Man. You got lucky with Spider-Man. Here you go."
Yeah, they sold at the right time.
They sure did. They got lucky.
But I would
they
say,
ruined it.
I would say, like, out of everything that we've seen from Insomniac, like I said, I'm going to skip Resistance 1, and I'm going to go play Resistance 2 because I watched the cutscene videos about it. Because
I never got into Resistance. I would try it.
The first game is ass. I think
it was
I think you
horrible.
and I can agree on that one. It just does not play that well. Like I said, I'm a shooter snob, but even then, this is terrible for even a shooter.
It didn't hook me. I didn't find it interesting. I was like, oh, okay, it's just some random shooter.
Yeah.
I don't find anything cool about it. But if there's like an actual story that gets better.
The story is okay. I kind of like the story idea behind it, to be honest with you. Because it's like, okay, you got this famous so what I'm a history major, so I like when people include like historical events that actually happen. So obviously it's like I forget the exact name, but it's like a meteor actually fell in Russia and they didn't discover it until like years later, like what happened or something, because it was so isolated and stuff. And they basically use that incident to like explain like how this I forget the alien race and how they spread. Like that's cool.
I didn't know that was like based on like a true event. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Also another game that does something really cool. Have you played A Plague Tale?
Oh, I watched someone play it. It looks interesting. I've always wanted to play it.
You should play those because they're fucking amazing. I'm gonna
They look
replay
good.
them. Did you like Uncharted 2?
Of course, love a chart.
Plague Tale Requiem. Feels
Yes.
like if you loved Uncharted 2, you'll love Requiem because it
Oh
feels like
my.
it captures that like fucking high octane like intenseness that Uncharted 2 had. Like
Wow.
I like every time when I was playing Requiem, I was like, oh my god, this just feels like Uncharted 2 to me, in like so many ways.
Like escaping and like the
Yes.
area changing and
Yes.
explosions and shit. And okay,
It's a brutal
pretty
game.
cool.
It's a fucking amazing game. But what it is, what they do to kind of tie it into a historical event. So like how all the rats are going insane everywhere in that game. They tie it into like an actual real world event that happened, the Plague of Justinian.
Okay.
So they
That's
tie
cool.
they tie that historical thing in, and it just gets my fucking jimmies all like excited. I get a little.
So
little chub.
is Requiem the sequel or is it
Yes.
the first one?
It's the
Okay,
sequel.
so Innocence is first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And Innocence is a good game, but Requiem is phenomenal. Like I actually loved it. I actually got the collector's edition for Requiem, and it's my favorite one of my favorite collector's editions.
Yeah, it's always been on the list. I watched I forgot who I watched play it, but it always looked fun.
I think they're on sale right now for PS5. Like you get both of them for like $35 from Woot.
I'm on Steam right now. It's $8 for Innocence and $17 for Requiem.
Steal. You should get them, man. I'm telling you.
I'll start with Innocence.
Innocence is a great stealth game, but like Requiem takes everything to the next level. Like it's the perfect prime example of a studio that
sequel.
like just does everything better than the first in every way.
Oh, is it a different studio?
No, they're the same studio.
Oh, okay. It's a proper sequel then. Like it just makes everything but better.
Yeah, it's a Sobo.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, I fucking love that game. And the ending, oh my god. That ending, bro. I don't want to spoil it because I actually want people to play this.
No. I will play it. No spoilers.
But yeah, so I kind of got off traffic here, but let's start winding this down.
Future of Insomniac, yeah.
I guess, what do you think is going to happen with Wolverine? Obviously, it's unfortunate. I hate to say this, but it's unfortunate that they got like hacked and all their work ended up online.
Yeah, that's jacked up.
It's fucked up, but I also thought it was a very big disservice by the games industry for not covering it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of outlets were not touching it. Like one of the big ones, which pissed me off, was Kind of Funny.
Who?
So Greg Miller's studio company.
Yeah.
But like we saw like early gameplay footage. It's all been leaked online and everything like that. And so far, it does not look super inspiring. But like I said, beta. It's beta. God only knows if that was like what kind of beta build that was. Obviously, it's been MIA since was that teaser trailer that was announced. Like, I think that was the same one where they had Knights of the Old Republic too, as well.
You know what? I do think the industry is starting to not do teaser trailers because they're just not received well. And there's been a few kind of like ghost releases. You know what I mean? It's not like games that have just been like coming out this year. People don't like the coming out in 2 years for some reason. It kills momentum. Like GTA 6, like delaying is huge momentum hit. I don't think it's gonna matter because GTA, right? It's all gonna come back together anyway.
Yeah.
But just I think I worry that it's a Wolverine game that kind of doesn't have much to do with Wolverine. It has to do with Phoenix, because that's what all the leaks were about. And at that point, I'm just like, why don't you just make it like an X-Men game then at that point?
Right. Or
Because
if it's a setup for an X-Men game too.
Yeah, but we're not getting like an actual like good Logan story. You know what I mean?
Well,
like the X-Men games and all the Wolverine games have always been better than their movies. You know what I mean? Like they're so good.
But I'll preference this. But with your point that you're saying is that we don't know exactly how good the story is.
Yeah, the story could be good. But the thing is that the gameplay looks so underwhelming that like most of these games, like the combat's like people like shit on like The Witcher 3, like, oh, the combat's so fucking boring, and it's just like, I don't give a shit. The story's amazing. Or it's like, oh, the combat's not good in Spider-Man. It's like, you web swing a Spider-Man, like,
yeah, it's
fuck
fun.
off.
It's
like
fun
it's
to play
fun.
Spider-Man. Yeah, you know.
But the stories are good. Like the stories carry most Sony games. And so I worry if the story is underwhelming, then this sweet Marvel deal that Insomniac this is a little too ambitious, I think, to kind of risk the Marvel game popularity. Because I mean, God, they should just go straight into X-Men games. I love those old X-Men games, dude. They were so good.
Well, we got a lot of other Marvel games that are coming out too. Obviously, Blade, that's going to be coming out.
Oh man, I haven't seen anything on that. Is there anything leaked for that or no?
No, not really yet. All I know is that it's being made by the Arcane studio that didn't get closed down.
I don't know what to think of that.
Well,
the promotional trailers look like
it looks interesting.
I don't know.
That's the thing. Blade is my favorite Marvel superhero, so I have hopes for it. And it's made by the better Arcane studio. Because Arcane Austin was terrible. Arcane Austin was just terrible. I'm sorry.
Whatever happened to that Black Panther game that was coming
they canceled
out?
it. You missed it.
It's straight up canceled?
Yeah.
Damn.
So God only knows. Well, they also canceled that really cool Spider-Man multiplayer that was revealed in the leaks.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fucking sad, you know?
Yeah.
And
I just think it's so funny that they spent so much money on a cinematic trailer for a Black Panther game, dude, just to scrap it. Holy shit, man. That is comical. And so I feel like at least, I don't know, dude, they've been really trying to hide and delay the Wolverine game, so
yeah,
they could really make a lot of changes to it, and if it gets delayed, it's going to be even better for it. But it's super important.
Yeah,
like, it has to be good, dude,
need
or
to get
else
it
they're
right.
not going to have any. They got to get it right, or it's not going to be, because it looks like it looks more like a slash 'em beat 'em up, which you can't do that with Wolverine. You can do that with Wolverine if it's Ultimate Alliance or an X-Men game, right? But if you're gonna call this a Wolverine game, it needs to be brutal like the other Wolverine games were. And it looks way too hack and slash, which is my fear. But I'm gonna say it's gonna be an underwhelming mid, and I think that's gonna hurt Insomniac, and they're not gonna be getting any more Marvel games. And clearly, they haven't had any kind of creative rejuvenation since, I guess, Sunset Overdrive.
I feel like my biggest problem is this feels like Sony got too high on their own supply. Because, like, the PS4 generation, they basically had no real competition with the Wii U and the Xbox One. And everyone by proxy overpraised, like, some of their games, like God of War Reboot, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4. You know,
Okay.
Like, I feel like they got, like, really high praise for some games that were better by proxy. You know what I mean?
They put a lot of details in those games, man, where they don't put details in their other games that have come out lately. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I
I think it's also a bit of they take their foot off the gas too.
like I said, like they were better by proxy, but I think they also doubled down on some of the worst aspects about their games because like every sequel that I played from like really good games like Spider-Man, God of War, and even Horizon Zero Dawn. The first one was fun. I will say that.
I like the first one too.
But then I'm playing the second one and I'm like bloated, boring, tiring, gave up halfway through it because I'm like uninterested. Aloy's not interesting. The story is somehow fucking worse than the already terrible first story.
I know. It's like you have it's like literally they wrote like one plot point and they were like, yeah, well, we can't tell them until the very fucking end. And they're like, oh, well, we'll put it in the second game. It's like, then what the fuck am I playing then? Like, it's honestly a rare Sony game where like the gameplay was so fun, I didn't care about the story.
Yeah.
Because the story in the beginning was very good. And then it just kind of stops. And they keep being like, oh, well, there's a mystery. There's a mystery.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, cool. I'll keep playing the game because it's fun. And at the end, it's like, all right, well, it was kind of clear that Aloy's not normal. And there's another world, or there's space, you know. Like it's.
We'll save that for another episode. This isn't talk about Horizon. I could go on and bitch about that for hours. Like maybe we'll have you back on for a toxic nostalgia. And we can talk about that.
Oh, that's a good theme. Yeah, I think you're onto something. I think this Wolverine could kill Insomniac. I do think that's possible, dude. Because the only thing they got going for them are the Marvel IPs.
Oh, yeah, Rift Apart didn't do that well either, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, even I get tired of sequels that drag on too long.
Mm-hmm.
And the new generation of the Ratchet and Clank games just don't grasp me the way that the OGs do. They're more like, I don't know, the humor and the charm is kind of missing. Even though like what was it? Like Cracked in Time was cool. No one gives Cracked in Time enough credit because they've done the whole like not like the fake loading screen, but like when you go into other different worlds, it does it all in real time and it loads so fucking quick. Like that shit was impressive.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think you got to hang up the mantle at some point. I don't like when IPs get dragged too long. I like when they have nice endings and I can be like, look at Jak and Daxter, 3 fucking games, perfection, ended great, good ending, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, if this Wolverine game is not Wolverine enough and it's just going to be another kind of beat 'em up like Spider-Man, I think that's going to cost them the Marvel license, and this studio is not going to end well.
I feel like
Oh, and Spider-Man 3. I think Spider-Man 3 actually comes out regardless.
I feel like what we're going to see
has to.
You know what my theory is?
What?
They're going to cancel Wolverine and they're just going to say we're making Spider-Man 3.
Okay. I could see that too.
I could see it happening because with this game it seems like it's just in development hell. Like there's no other way to describe it. I think it was announced in 2022, 2023. And we haven't heard hide nor hair, and we just got those leaks and everything. And I don't know if Sony is going to allow them to just reboot and redo everything, or if they're just going to, because like I said, they already canceled the Spider-Man game already, the multiplayer one, and they're going to just rework the assets and just make a Spider-Man game. I honestly feel like it, and maybe they might put Wolverine in it as like a side character and maybe try to like resalvage that project by saying we'll bring a like Wolverine mission. Like we'll give the fans a bone. We'll get rid of Mary Jane missions and we'll throw in like Wolverine missions.
I fear what they're going to do with Miles Morales and how they're going to treat Peter Parker more importantly, but that sounds like a way better game because those leaks, that game is just way too bright and like Uncharted goofy and like Spider-Man. It doesn't look like a dark, gritty Wolverine game. Like you're in a fucking like Motel 6 fighting. It's like this is not Logan. Like I don't know what it is. So that would probably be the best case scenario, because I wonder if Spider-Man 3, do they go all in on Miles, or do they, because I think that might piss a lot of people off. It's like, Miles Morales is Spider-Man, guys. Like, here we go. And then at the end, it's Peter's gonna come and save the day, and then you're just gonna do this little flip-flop reversal, piss off both fan bases.
I feel like I don't know what they're gonna do. The only thing I hope they do is redesign his costume, because holy fucking shit, that was a dog shit Miles Morales costume.
Yeah.
That looks so fucking terrible. That honestly looked more racist than, like, you know, what a Daily Stormer cartoonist could come up with. All right, I'm sorry.
The Jordan Spider-Verse was less racist.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's like, this is fucked up.
Yours were sick.
He's got his dreads out on the top. I'm like, who fucking designed this? It was like,
I don't know.
Who designed that costume? That's fucking top five
Miles is
terrible.
a fucking nerd too. It just doesn't like match his personality. You know what I mean?
Well, his actual costume, the black and red with the graffiti spider, like, that's cool. Like, that's actually a sharp look. Like,
yep.
And like I said, it's like, Miles at least looks cool, and then they fuck it up. It's like, you have like one of the best like design costumes out there, and you fuck it up by making him look like dog shit. You know?
It's like Black Spider 2.0. It's like the Venom suit, but like with red, and it always looked sick. Yeah, in the cartoons and the comics, dude, he always looked cool.
Yeah, like
fucked it
that's
up.
the one thing, is like his Spider-Man costume is really good looking.
Oh yeah,
hard to
I love
argue that point. And then Nerd takes over. He says they're gonna throw us a curveball and make the game just MJ missions.
Bro, yeah, that would be fucking crazy.
No, you just play as the deaf girl. That's all you do.
Oh, that would be great. Graffiti.
Just graffiti the game.
Just get the vandalize. That's great. Totally. Nothing screams Spider-Man more than vandalism. God, Spider-Man's beating up people for less. But the Wolverine game is crucial, which why canceling it would be a very good move, like you said.
Yeah.
And then it should just be an X-Men game. They should reboot the X-Men games, dude. That is back. If you did like an Arkham style fighting game, but like 4 players co-op, and you can switch between people in real time, like with the shoulder camera view, not just the over the top, that would be an actual like next level generation in gaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like GTA kind of thing, or, you know, games where like you could play multiple characters, but not from the top down kind of roguelike look. That would be a really good idea.
Yeah, kind of like what they did with this Spider-Man game, where you could swap between Miles and Peter on the fly, and you catch them like doing like regular stuff. Like, I thought that was a good design that they had.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like that was a really good design choice. It's like, oh, Peter's just chilling, eating a hot dog, or doing crunches on a building.
It's bagel. Well, I love seeing him eat bagel. I love that he ate a bagel in the first game.
Yeah,
that was cool. New Yorker with his bagel.
But like I said, it's like had a good idea, did not have the heart to make it good, and you know, blame whoever you want for that. It's just like I said, there was more problems than just the writing. Like I said, the game came out, felt very hot. I had crashes. A lot of people have glitches. I literally have a fucking video of a game-breaking bug that I had, and people were like, "Oh, you broke the game on purpose." I'm like, "How?"
Oh my god.
You know? But
I am a Bethesda kind of fan too, so I excuse bugs if the story and the game are good. So it doesn't bother me.
I think, I've been on record many times with saying I think the whole Bethesda thing is more of a meme at this point than actual like criticism. You know?
Yeah, it's a meme for sure, and it's also PC and modding too. Like, you fuck up your game.
It's like look. I've had some funny bugs in a Bethesda game, but I've literally argued with people. I'm like, I've played the game on a 360, I've played the game on an Xbox One, I played the game on PS4, and so on and so forth. Like the game runs fine. Like, I don't have any issues. Sometimes it's funny to see like sometimes a mammoth will just spawn for no reason in thin air and die, and you laugh, or you're like just walking along and a dragon soul enters your body, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? You know, it's like those are funny moments. You know.
I love glitches, dude. People like get so mad when there's a glitch in the game, and it's like, dude, don't you remember when glitches were fun? They were funny and they made the game fun, dude. Like, it doesn't ruin your experience. You just boot it up again.
Yeah, just like what happened to having fun? You know,
I know.
Just have some fun, people. You take
Exactly.
life too seriously. Turn off some of the YouTubers. Play a game. Light a doobie if you could do that. Fucking just chill out, man.
I think that's why I'm very much like a story fig, where it's like if you fuck with the story and the characters, that's when you piss me off. And that's why the Wolverine story the story has to be good. And Spider-Man 3, like, I feel like you've already ruined the story. And yes, people criticize the gameplay, but it's like, if the gameplay is adequate and the story is good, therefore it is a good game. You know?
Right.
So that's what's important.
So, Shock, I think I had a good time with you tonight, man. It was just fun to nerd out and actually talk about games. Just
great show, my man. Thanks for having me.
This is fun. Definitely want to have you back on. I got plenty of other documentaries, and like I said, I got other shows that I'm doing. So, like, definitely will hit you.
I want to do a WWE 2 versus 1 about Skyrim versus Oblivion with you and Paul. That's something I want to do.
I would do that with you just in general, but I would have to play more Oblivion. The problem is I haven't beaten Oblivion.
I'm trying to get my wife to play Skyrim, so maybe I'll replay it again while watching her. Or grinding for her so the game's easier.
Bro, I just love Skyrim. You know, that's the problem.
I love it too. It's great.
I understand
why
why people like Oblivion, but it's just like I don't know.
I always said Oblivion's better, Skyrim's cooler. Like, I get it. But Oblivion is still just a better game, even though Skyrim's cooler.
I feel like Oblivion has a better story because it's it's a more consistent like main line story.
Yes.
But like everything else about Skyrim has a better atmosphere.
Totally. It's cooler.
But I will concede this point. Oblivion has the much superior DLC.
Oh, yeah.
I will
it's
concede
just,
that
yeah.
point, yeah.
The story is fantastic.
Even though as much as I love Dawnguard, Shivering Isles is just a better, just DLC overall, dude.
I like Dawnguard too. I like it because you get the best waifu. I forgot that bitch's name. The blonde bitch.
Oh.
Damn it.
The vampire girl is my favorite one.
Oh,
Serena?
her too.
Yeah.
Serena and the other girl, you can't marry them.
I know, it's bullshit.
Sucks. You have to glitch the game and go to the DLC first to get her as a permanent companion, and then not finish the DLC and then just do good times.
But good times. Like I said, you know what, that'd be a fun. We could do do a show. I'll try to play more Oblivion because I got other games I need to play for other shows coming up.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely I would love to. We could sit down, we can like
no rush. It's on the list.
Yeah, compare and contrast why we like some games better and so on and so forth. And that'd be fun. Definitely.
Oh yeah,
definitely think about that.
That's a good show idea. I want to get two just different fan bases and just have them fight which one's the better one. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'd be like a 2v2 or a 2v1 or something like that. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, 2v2 sounds good. It'd be good to have like another person on who's a big Oblivion person.
Yep. I think who would be mine? James loves Oblivion. Kay apparently loves Oblivion now. Nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, good show, dude. Thanks for having me, man. Had fun with chat.
Yes. Would you like to plug yourself? Tell you where to find them, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah. Follow me on Twitter, ShakaZulu_1. I haven't changed my profile pic, and a lot of people are telling me not to because it's fucking hilarious. It was supposed to be just a joke for like a day, and I haven't changed it. It's Joseph Stalin and a pineapple. And I think I don't know. I think the people like it, so it's gonna stay. And then I stream on YouTube, Shaka Zulu 12. I do videos sometimes. I have some video ideas that I need. And then I also stream on Kick, very rarely. But if I do stream, it's on a Saturday mornings. But
Yes.
follow me on Twitch or follow me on Twitter because I like to shit talk.
And also,
And,
the channel is linked in the show on YouTube here, so you can click and get a direct link right to his YouTube channel to go subscribe to him there if you haven't. And then thank you again for coming on, man. It's just been more fun just to sit down and just shoot the shit about video games again, you know?
Me too. Yeah, it's been fun.
And then as for me, tomorrow we will be back with another show, launching off the series. It's called Toxic Nostalgia. Kind of like what we were just doing now. We're just sitting down with a couple buddies, and we're reliving some of our favorite memories. We'll probably bring up clips and everything else for people to see. But tomorrow I'll be joined by the Gronking Boys, Mr. Cream NATO, and of course,
hell yeah,
my pseudo co-host, as I like to say, I'm the third chair on Top 5, Mr. Jason Tongate. We're going to be talking about E3, as I just said, having a good old time with that. And that will be at 7 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. And then on Sunday, I will be on the Company Boys channel with Mr. Insidious Bliss, Seth the Dragon, a.k.a. DJ Axis, and of course, as we said before, Mr. Paul Hadouken. And we're actually going to watch the Xbox Showcase together.
I'll go watch Paul play Elden Ring. That's like my favorite streams right now. I love watching him play. Yeah, I love Paul.
So everyone, thank you for coming by. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we will see you all. Well, it's not Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night, sorry. And we'll see you all tomorrow on Saturday at 7 p.m.